yeah, yeah. We hold the pen, we're writers for life, life. We write the matrix and step in the light. Yeah. Look, social media gonna be the death of many. Painful price for life, not worth a penny. Took me a minute to realize the truth inside the lies. What I see on here is just a bigger illusion in disguise. The one we face in real life, when we open up our eye. Break the illusion, we tearing down the screen. Tonight, step out the shadows, we stepping into blinding light. No digital chains, gonna hold down how we fight. Yeah, we stand tall, we step into the light. Watch how you talk when you look at the paradigm. When I look around, it feels as if the ground is shifting fast. Every time I wake up, the reality doesn't last. It's a different dimension, waking up into a maze. Same world, different time, trapped inside the digital craze. Stuck in the middle of a maze that's spinning out of bounds. And am I living in the past, present, future, all at once? While these clones on the screen keep on acting for the front. Would that mean I astro projected out into the dark, leaving my body behind just to try and find a spark? Maybe I'm out of my mind, drifting way past the line, straight out of North Philly, where the weak don't survive. You typing on the phone just to feel like you alive. Broke in the spirit, and you broke in the bank. Trying to talk heavy to a literal tank. You a straight corner phantom, you a digital ghost, crying in your bedroom while you doing the most. I'm from the pavement, the bricks and the block. You get your feelings hurt the minute that I talk. A certified clown with a verified name, but you broke in real life and you losing the game. I would step on your neck, leave you stuck in the dirt. Go delete your account cause your feelings are hurt. So I say, fuck the haters and shout out to the real ones. The ones standing 10 toes down when the deal comes. So many people on here hiding right behind the screen, thinking they run everything, acting heavy and mean, but they just keyboard warriors talking loud for a crowd. And deflecting all of these insecurities because they fear it. They can't stand the mirror I pull in front of their spirit. Insecure creatures, you look desperate and small. I could step on you and forget you ever existed at all. No footprint left behind when the curtains finally fall. You wanted the stage, you a rat in the trap, you a bird in a cage. I don't play with the internet, I'm from the blocks where we shut down the talkers and open the box. You a whole joke, living life for a click while I'm real in the flesh and you never been sick. Keep my name out your mouth before you get erased. Ain't no filter on earth that can save your whole existence. I'm the nightmare you get when you step off the net, a permanent mark that you'll never forget. Go and cry to your followers, tell them you black, cause I buried your pride and I did what I said. They chasing ghosts, but we building up the foundation. Behind with the digital hallucination. The ink is dry, we writing the whole design. Stepped off the screen, we taking what is true in mind. Yeah, we stand tall, we're writers for life. And that's on everything, North Philly, baby. Hey. Yeah. Welcome to the reality check. Turn the cameras off. Writers for life. Let's get it. Looking at the screen, another late night scroll. Watching everybody trade away a piece of their soul. See, this ain't just about the messy pose you write, or the emotional outbursts in the middle of the night. We're dealing with something deeper that you can't decide. Yeah, it's spiritual warfare happening online. We keep ignoring what is happening right in front of our eyes. Some of y'all are out here drowning under digital skies, just bleeding on the timeline, pouring out your soul, hoping someone out there's gonna come and make you whole. Looking for a savior on a smartphone screen, searching for a savior inside a virtual machine, hoping someone will hand you a bandage for the pain. But you're getting back is a track of pure disdain. You're getting likes and shit, nothing that can cure the hurt, just a bunch of emojis stamped inside the dirt. chains. Yeah, you talk to the crowd, but I walk through the flames. We are standing our ground, we don't bow to the trend. Watch the curtain close down on the games that you send. Yeah, you want a performance, go put on a show. Cause the throne that I'm on is where haters can't go. We've normalized the pain, turned the ache into a show. Trauma as entertainment everywhere we go. And then we wonder why the spirit feels so cold and spent. Why we're feeling so empty after every scroll we went. Looking at a mirror that was never meant to reflect the beauty of a soul that the world tried to neglect. You are not broken just because you feel so deep. Don't let them tell you otherwise or rob you of your sleep. But you're broken because you're trying to process the pain, exposing sacred wounds to the public in the rain. In these public arenas where the wolves come to stroll, environments that were never ever built to hold your soul. Oh, you thought you could feed on the scars that I bleed. Keep your lies, keep your shade. I got all that I need. Why you pose for the cloud? I am breaking the chains. Yeah, you talk to the crowd, but I walk through the flames. We are standing our ground, we don't bow to the trend. Watch the curtain close down on the games that you send. Yeah, you want a performance, so put on a show. Cause the throne that I'm on is where haters can't go. You built an empire out of digital dust, trading your conscience for a moment of lust. But you can't contain a fire that was lit by the divine. Yeah, your matrix is glitching, I'm reclaiming what's mine. Go ahead and talk your talk, trap your hate in the box while you're trapped in the algorithm. I'm breaking the locks, you a critic in the stands, I'm the one in the ring. You can never understand the weight of the song that I sing. We are shutting down the stadium, we're cutting the feed. No more bleeding for your entertainment. This is the stampede. No more feeding the wolves. We shutting down the arena. Riders for life. And that's on everything we are. 20 days done, 20 days done. 20 days done, 20 days done. Ooh. Do you know I really believed every promise you ever fed to me? First one I ever let behind the shield, and look at how you played me. Check the ink. Give you my heart for what? I told you it's not that easy to tame me. Give you my heart for what? I don't need no one to entertain me. Give you my heart for what? When all you do is shift the blame. You projecting your past and it's driving me insane. Demanding my energy while you keep your feelings guarded, leaving me to finish the war that your ex-lover started. Now you're checking my phone looking for a reason to fight, but I'm the only one who ever tried to treat you right. Sacrifice, 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 that is all I hear you tell me. You want me to surrender my peace just to make you feel secure, but I won't be the casualty for the hurt you refuse to cure. Paying the bills for a heartbreak I didn't even cause, suffering the damage from all of your emotional flaws. I gave you my soul and you just watched the courtroom bleed, punishing me for the love that you claim you don't need. Stepping out of your shadow under the rising sun, breaking out of the cycle because my life has just begun. Sometimes I feel like you don't even see me. Lord, please help me. This situation is starting to exhaust me. So what's the move now? Looking for something where there's nothing. I don't wanna argue anymore, living with the illusion that you'd eventually love me the way I do. But I'm just a game to you. You're hunting for vengeance in me while I'm dreaming of a future with you. I don't know what to do anymore. They see the damage, but they don't see the cause. They want the victory, but flew from what was lost. I never thought we make it this far down the line, but I'm drawing the boundary to protect what is mine. They tore you into pieces, but don't act like that was me. They hurt you and they messed you up. Why am I the one paying the consequences? Maybe you love someone you shouldn't have, a fatal decision you made. But tell me why I'm the one stuck standing in your shade. Maybe they played you, they didn't really love you. You were just a temporary thrilling adventure they ran through. They never gave you a chance, and I'm the one bleeding out the consequences. Go heal yourself before you try to come for me. Go fix the shattered pieces that I didn't break. Look at the mirror, look at the price of your mistake. I am no longer carrying the weight of what they took from you. Tired of bleeding for wounds that were never made by my hand. Taking a stand against the traps that you masterfully planned. No more accepting the guilt that you're trying to pass. I'm shattering the illusions and breaking the looking glass. Moving with momentum under the rising sun. Leaving the baggage behind, and now the damage is undone. Sitting here dissecting everything you tell me. You claim that you love me. I wanted to believe you, it felt real until the truth got ugly. Even though in our hearts we both knew we didn't mean it. I don't even wanna see you anymore. You put me in a cage built from your old relationship scars, trying to block me from reaching my own destination and stars. But the contract is canceled and the lease has expired. I'm walking away from the game because my spirit is tired. I stood out on the corner when the block was freezing cold, carrying a narrative that never could be sold. You thought you had me cornered in a setup in Hunting Park, but I'm too sharp to get trapped by the shadows in the dark. No handouts on the pavement, had to earn my own respect. Cutting off the static and the fake love you projected. Concrete was the teacher and the hustle was the guide. Now I'm collecting on my value while you're swallowed by your pride. Dropping the shield and I'm walking right out of the door. I refuse to be the scapegoat for your internal war. You can keep the suspicion and keep the bitterness inside. I am taking back the dignity that you tried to divide. Reigning supreme under the rising sun. Walking into my power, and the heavy crown is won. Go pay your own penalties. I'm officially off the clock. Still standing tall, still shining through the night. Riders for life, and that's on everything North Philly, baby.
Hey, what up, everybody? I hope all of y'all is having a blessed, comfortable day. Have a blessed, comfortable morning. This y'all show great show. Let me welcome all of y'all to the Writers for Life. Brings you, the Writers for Life brings you, brings it all. My bad. I forgot I had changed the name. Shit. It's Winnie. Bacon Big Brain. Once again, let me welcome all of y'all. All right. Listen, y'all know when it comes to the podcast, we talk about everything. So, listen, y'all already know how we do it, all right? On the Writers for Life Brings It All podcast, we talk about the stuff everybody else is here for, all right? The stuff folks whisper about but never say out loud. And today, whew, we back at that topic again, all right? They had the whole internet, all right, arguing, pacing, sweating, and touching their pearls. False accusations on men, all right, the feminist act, all right, feminist movement, all right. And before we dive into it, all right, before we dive into today's live, let me give a big shout out to Mouthpiece, my big girl Mouthpiece, my big sis, Goddess of Love, because they had a panel the other day and that John was lit, right? They had that John lit up. They ain't just talk about it. They dissected it like, a fraud science. Feminist act. Men in this era. Women saying ain't no good men while literally stepping over the good ones to uplift, the bumps. Right? So, they hit every angle in this conversation. Blessings. All right, so before we get started, let me say blessings to everybody that's coming through. Blessings to those on Twitch, blessings to those on Facebook, blessings to those here on YouTube. All right, big shout out to the real ones, those that have been rocking out with a shorty since the very beginning, those that have been here thick and thin, those that have been watching my journey. All right, OGs, big shout out to y'all. Y'all know how we do here, man. Fuck the haters. All right, so let's get into it. I'm gonna drop the link in a minute. Let's get into it because I'm not sugarcoating it. Right? We don't sugarcoat it at all. But we talk about the feminist act. When we talk about the feminist act, people act like it was this magical wand that fixed everything for women. But did it really? Or did it create a They create a system where some folks learned how to weaponize. Let's be real, right? Some parts help, some parts hurt, some parts got twisted, like a little pretzel. But now we sitting here in 2026 watching men get dragged, canceled, fired, locked up, right? And publicly humiliated off of accusations that ain't even been proven. Do y'all think the Feminist Act evolved or did it get higher? Because let's talk about this, right? Let's talk about this, no good men narrative. Because hey, like there are good men, plenty of them, but some women don't want good men. I could be wrong, right? They want chaos. They want drama. All right. They want a project. They want a man they can fix. All right, kind of like some build a bear type. They want a man who's emotionally unavailable so they can feel like they the hero, right? Then they turn around and say, "Hey, men ain't shit." No, sis. The men you pick ain't shit. All right, and then when the chaos blows up, suddenly he's this, he did that, and sometimes the accusations ain't even true, and they're real fucked up. Like, why do some people choose pain over and then blame the world for the bruise? It ain't the first time we talked about this, right? It ain't the first time we've hit on this topic. All right. Now, here's where it gets heavy because false accusations don't hurt feelings, right? They destroy lives. They destroy reputation. They destroy family, right? They destroy mental health. They destroy future. And the wild part is, even when a man is proven innocent, society don't apologize. They don't say my bad. They don't fix them. They just move on like nothing happened. While that man got to rebuild his whole life from scratch. Should should innocence after the fact come with actual public apology or jail for the accused? So I know a lot of people ain't gonna, how can I say, talk or comment. Y'all more than welcome to comment. I'll be dropping the link in a minute, right? Once we go into, a little, how can I say, little music commercial, take a little break, right? Get some time. But it's crazy as it sounds, right? This I consider this a touchy subject. And let's be honest, some women know exactly what they're doing when they lie. They know the system will believe them first. They know the internet will jump on their side. They know, people will defend them without, how can I say, asking a single question. And that's dangerous because broke victims get, how can I say, overshadowed by the ones lying for attention, revenge, validation, or control. And that's not fair for anybody. So, as crazy as it sounds, right? Now I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say something that might piss folks off, but y'all know I don't care, right? If a woman lies on a man, intentionally, malicious, knowingly, yes, she should face consequences because if a man can go to jail for something he didn't do, why shouldn't she? Why shouldn't she go to jail for the lie that put them there in the first place? Fair is fair, right? Equality is equality. Accountability is accountability. You can't scream protect women while destroying men, right? So let's talk about the root real quick, right? Before we really dive, right? Why do some women feel comfortable lying? Why do they feel protected enough to weaponize the system? Why do they feel like there will be no consequences for society created a space where men's pain is a joke, men's trauma is ignored, men's innocence is optional, and men's reputation is the spoken. And that's not empowerment. That's imbalance. But I could be wrong. All right. So today, on part four of this live, this is part four. All right. This is already, the fourth time We've done a live. Big shout out to the ones that have, hopped on the panel, had a conversation with authority respectfully. Today on part 4, we asking the real questions, digging into, real truth. We're not tiptoeing, we're not whispering, we're not scared. We're talking about the Feminist Act. We're talking about the good men who do exist, the bums who get praised, the lies, that ruin lives, and the accountability that needs to be equal. Because if we don't, we don't talk about it, who will? And if we don't fix it, who's next, right? So, look, this live right here, this ain't just a conversation. This is awareness, right? This is kind of like, memory test. Like, did the Feminist Act, did they teach us or did they skip it when it comes to, all right, that type of living. Like, we're on part 4, meaning we digging, scraping, peeling back layers like onions. And every time we go down this rabbit hole, we find something. And today we are revisiting, all right, the names that, built the foundation of women's rights. The ones that, the ones they barely teach in school, unless you had, that one teacher who actually cared. All right, and we talking about Elizabeth Cady. All right, Elizabeth Cady Stanton, Alice Paul, Carrie Chapman Cat. All right, these women didn't just talk. All right, they moved mountains according to history. Right, so why aren't these things, taught in our schools? Or was you were coming from? So, let me take a quick look. And this is why I love this song right here, and I know I think I do have it uploaded. I just uploaded Sacrifice today. I think I have the Web of Lies. It's probably on the membership. So we're gonna take a quick little break, real quick, all right? And then I'm gonna keep talking. Anybody wants to hit the panel, have a conversation with a hoodie, y'all more than welcome. All right, hit the link, but hit that link respectfully. Cause trust and believe. Look, listen, man. I'll block people fast. I will drop you off the panel fast. Let's have real conversations. All right, let's not sit here and argue, try to fight. If anything I say, anything that how can I say, a guest says when they come up on a panel, anybody in the chat, avenge you. The door's right there. Just make sure the doorknob doesn't hit you with a good Lord.
Yeah. Welcome to the reality check. Turn the cameras off. Writers for life. Let's get it. Looking at the screen, another late night scroll. Watching everybody trade away a piece of their soul. See, this ain't just about the messy pose you right, or the emotional outbursts in the middle of the night. We're dealing with something deeper that you can't decide. Yeah, it's spiritual warfare happening online. We keep ignoring what is happening right in front of our eyes. Some of y'all are out here drowning under digital skies, just bleeding on the timeline, pouring out your soul, hoping someone out there's gonna come and make you whole. Looking for a savior on a smartphone screen, searching for a savior inside a virtual machine, hoping someone will hand you a bandage for the pain. But you're getting back is a track of pure disdain. You're getting likes and shit, nothing that can cure the hurt, just a bunch of emojis stamped inside the dirt. Ooh, that's not healing, let's call it what it really is. That's performance, just a regular entertainment bill. Oh, you thought you could feed on the scars that I bleed. Keep your light, keep your shade. I got all that I need while you pose for the cloud. I am breaking the chains. Yeah, you talk to the crowd, but I walk through the flames. We are standing our ground. We don't bow to the trend. Watch the curtain close down on the games that you send. Yeah, you want a performance, go put on a show. 'Cause the throne that I'm on is where haters can't go. We've normalized the pain, turned the ache into a show. Trauma as entertainment everywhere we go. And then we wonder why the spirit feels so cold and spent. Why we're feeling so empty after every scroll we went. Looking at a mirror that was never meant to reflect the beauty of a soul that the world tried to neglect. You are not broken just because you feel so deep. Don't let them tell you otherwise or rob you of your sleep. But you're broken because you're trying to process the pain, exposing sacred wounds to the public in the brain. In these public arenas where the wolves come to stroll, environments that were never ever built to hold your soul. Well, you thought you could feed on the scars that I bleed. Keep your legs, keep your shade. I got all that I need. While you pose for the cloud, I am breaking the chains. Yeah, you talk to the crowd, but I walk through the flames. We are standing our ground. We don't bow to the trend. Watch the curtain close down on the games that you send. Yeah, you want a performance, so put on a show. 'Cause the throne that I'm on is where haters can't go. You built an empire out of digital dust, trading your conscience for a moment of lust. But you can't contain a fire that was lit by the divine. Yeah, your matrix is glitching. I'm reclaiming what's mine. Go ahead and talk your talk. Talk your hate in the box while you're trapped in the algorithm. I'm breaking the locks. You a critic in the stands. I'm the one in the ring. You can never understand the weight of the song that I sing. We are shutting down the stadium. We're cutting the feed. No more bleeding for your entertainment. This is the stampede. No more feeding the wolves. We shutting down the arena. Riders for life. And that's on everything we are. 40 days, doing 40 days, done. 40 days, doing 40 days, done. Ooh.
In today's polarized world, is feminism dead? I saw your hand.
I think that depends on the definition of feminism. I strongly think that feminism is more of an action than an identity. I would say it's uplifting all women, in which case it's very alive. At the same time, if we do follow that definition, feminism has splintered off into so many different areas that you can look at people like Sheryl Sandberg who say you should just get another nanny if you feel oppressed. And if we're talking about that kind of feminism, yeah, it's pretty dead.
I think feminism isn't actually about equality. It's about equality when it benefits us. I think feminism is really about women wanting special privileges and treatment at the expense of men often. And I think it's alive and well, sadly.
Up until 100 years ago, not all women in the United States were allowed to vote.
The Constitution was not written for women. And, you know, we hear that women got the right to vote. Well, by the way, nobody ever just gets anything from somebody who's in a position of power. You have to fight for that. And a lot of women fought very, very hard for that right.
The 19th Amendment passed in 1920. Today, women's issues remain central to American policy and politics.
Well, Georgia has passed one of the most restrictive abortion policies in the country.
When it comes to paid parental leave, our country's policies are some of the worst in the world.
I want to focus on a milestone for gender equality that we haven't actually achieved yet, the Equal Rights Amendment.
Issues of women's reproductive rights, pay equity, and family leave policies are important. So why did it take so long for women to have a voice in America's democracy? Here's what you need to know about women's suffrage. The U.S.
All right. I thought. I'm not sure about. Something is nice, but you feel like you could do even better. Hey, thank you. I'm not sure what you're saying is nice, but hey, thank you. But I'm not sure what you think I could do better. And if you're talking about the music, hey, look, listen, I singer. I ain't no rapper. I ain't none of that. All right, I'm a poet, and I'm just bringing to my audience what they ask me and what they like. If you didn't enjoy it, I can't do nothing more. To help that. At the end of the day, you know where I'm coming from. It's all about bringing awareness. This is the best that I could. This is the best I'm bringing to the table. So at the end of the day, the whole purpose was to bring awareness to certain topics, and that's exactly what we're doing here. All right, like it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea, but those that enjoy it, man, thank you, I appreciate it. But the whole purpose is, like I said before, all right, I didn't put this out there. Like, I'm not putting music out there, you know, to be famous. None of that. We just bringing awareness. That's what we do. So back on topic, all right. We're talking about the women and men that were involved, as a part. They were a part of the women's rights, right? Elizabeth Cady Stanton was, out here, co-organizing the Sense of Fall convention. Like, how can I say, y'all gonna hear us today? She wrote the, how can I say, Declaration of Sentiments, basically the "We Tired of the Shit" document of 1848. She wasn't soft. She wasn't quiet. She wasn't, how can I say, waiting for permission. She said what needed to be said, at a time when women weren't even allowed to speak in certain spaces. That's bold, right? That's fearless. That's revolution. Do you think modern women still carry that same fire, or did society dim it? Then you got, Alice Paul, militant, right? Strategic and unapologetic. She founded the National Women's, Party and drafted the first version of the Equal Rights Amendment in 1923. She wasn't playing with nobody, right? She was like equal rights, right? Equal means equal. And she meant that. She protested, she organized, she pushed boundaries, she got arrested, she did whatever it took, and now, we gotta ask, did her work get honored, or did it get watered down by politics and, confusion? Has equality become a slogan instead of a mission? And I know this live ain't gonna be for everybody, all right? So, shout out to the real ones. Shout out to, the ones that are sharing, trying to, bring awareness along with a shorty. Those are the ones right there that, that to me matter. And for those of you that do catch the replay, man, listen, leave your comments down below. Let's get the discussion started. We got Carrie, Chapman. Carrie Chapman Cat came through like, the closer in the championship. She founded the League of Women's Voters, right? Basically bullied lawmakers into, how can I say it, ratifying the 19th Amendment. She didn't care about their excuses, their delays, their maybe next session nonsense. She applied pressure. She made sure women got the right to vote. But here's the twist. Even with all that, even with all that progress, some folks still misunderstood, right? Or still misunderstand what these women fought for. Why do people celebrate rights they don't fully understand? Like, do people today really understand what the women's rights was really for? Because they say, well, women couldn't cook, women couldn't cook, women couldn't work, women, wasn't doctors, women wasn't this, women were a lot of things before colonization, right? But see, as crazy as it sounds, right, it's deeper than what a lot of people think. And let's not forget, Frederick Douglass. Right, I may not mention everybody right now, but this is kind of like a little recap. Remember, we're entering part 4. So, in order for you to understand this live, I need y'all to go back to part 1, part 2, and part 3. All right. So let's not forget about Frederick Douglass. All right, the only African American at the, how can I say, Seneca Falls Convention. All right, he didn't just show up; he spoke up. He told them straight up that women's voting rights needed to be included. He didn't say, that's not my fight. He said justice, justice, and that's power. Right? That's solitary. That's, how can I say, solidarity. That's how can I say, real allyship. That's not performative. That wasn't performative, like the performative stuff that people, how can I say, do today for likes and retweets. Why is real allyship so rare in a world full of, how can I say, performative activism? Right? Then we got James Bond. Right? Let me say the name right because I have a hard time sometimes pronouncing the name. All right, Lucretta Mott's husband. I hope I said her name. I hope I said her name right. That's Lucretta Mott's husband. Right. Her husband was another one who didn't just sit on the sidelines. He co-organized the convention and signed the Declaration of Sentiments. Right, a man signing a document demanding women's rights in 1848. That was basically social suicide, but he did it anyway. And that tells you something. Not all men were the enemy. Some were part of the fight. Some were risking their own reputations to uplift women. So why do we erase the men who actually helped the movement? Then you got, the, how can I say, suffragants. I can never pronounce the name right. Suffragants, whatever. Max Eastman's, right? Jane Lee's, Laylaw, and others from, the Men's League for Women's Suffrage. These dudes use their influence, their connections, their voices, their platform, push the, how can I say, the vote forward. They weren't trying to overshadow women. They were following their lead. They understood the assignment. They knew their privilege. All right? They knew their privilege could open doors women weren't allowed to walk through yet. Do we still value collaboration today, or is everyone too busy trying to be the face of the movement?
The U.S. Constitution was written in 1787. The nation's founding document didn't give many specifics on who could and could not vote, so the rules were largely left to the states, and most restricted the right to vote to white, land-owning men over the age of 21, who made up as little as 6% of the population.
Men thought women should be governed by their husbands, that their husbands represented their interest at the ballot box.
The framers of the Constitution and many of those that set the laws thereafter, in essence, considered women to be childlike and incapable of independent thought. Man was elected to office. Forward to the early 1800s, and women began speaking up about how inequitable restricting the right to vote was. In 1848, a few Quaker women, outspoken in the movement to abolish slavery and involved in various movements, met up for tea and bonded over the trials and tribulations of being a woman in 19th century America. Months later, two of those early suffragettes, Elizabeth Cady Stanton and Lucretia Mott, organized the first women's rights convention in Seneca Falls, New York, and hundreds of people showed up. There, they created the Declaration of Sentiments, based on the Declaration of Independence, which listed their agenda for improving women's rights, including protecting gender equality, the right to an education, and of course, the ability to vote. But it wasn't all agreement and tea time.
After the Civil War, it would be racism that would cause one of the biggest divisions in the movement.
The 15th Amendment, introduced in 1869, would give African American men the right to vote regardless of race, color, or previous condition of servitude, though it said nothing of gender.
And Elizabeth Cady Stanton and Susan B. Anthony, two of the most famous suffragists of the 19th century, famously oppose the amendment, say unspeakably racist things against it, clearly displaying a kind of elitist and racial hierarchy. Whereas Lucy Stone organizes a rival organization to support Black men's voting and fight for women's vote, called the American Women's Suffrage Association. And a lot of those women of color just said, this white women's organizing doesn't speak to our needs, and we're going to go organize on our own.
Still, the movement continued, and in the next 40 to 50 years, some suffragettes pushed their agenda by attempting to vote and then filing lawsuits when they were denied the right. In 1872, Susan B. Anthony voted in the president, was later arrested, tried, and fined $100. She refused to pay the fine. Other women also ran for local and national office on campaigns for office. By 1878, a formal amendment for women's suffrage made it to the U.S. Senate, but with little momentum. The divided women's groups realized they needed to join forces and unite as one by 1890. In the years leading up to the 19th Amendment, the movement for suffrage heated up with marches, protests at the White House, and a prison hunger strike after longtime suffragette Alice Paul was arrested and tortured for demanding the right to vote.
And what's crazy is, right, it's like when I hear people talking about the women's rights and stuff like that, they make it seem like it's meant for this, it's meant for that, when in reality, it was really more for the woman to be able to, be able to vote, to be able to work, right, and get paid equally, where the man is at, in the same establishment. All right, women to have their own, bathrooms, right? Like, I could just keep going and going with this, right? But, listen, I love the way Mouthpiece and God is D did their live the other day. And like I said, we're just doing a little recap because, listen, we need to bring more awareness to this. Right? I think I've said a lot throughout the past lives, yo. I've really spoken my mind. Those that have followed me and know how I feel when it comes to these situations. We got 3 powerful topics today, right? The women's how can I say, women's rights, right? They call it the Feminist Act, right? What women did to, fight for the women to get, how can I say, their rights and stuff like that. The men that fought alongside them. All right. Second topic, are there still good men out here today? Third topic, all right. Should women go to jail for falsely accusing men? And believe it or not, all these topics go hand in hand. All right. Like, some people are gonna be like, damn, like, why? Listen, there's a reason. All right, we talking about bringing awareness to this. So you just smash a big plate of chilaquiles. I feel chubby. I feel chubby too every time I be smashing the burritos and the enchiladas and fucking damn, man. I got one of my favorite places. What is the fajitas. I love me some chicken and steak fajitas. But let's get back on topic.
The early 1900s also marked the beginnings of early suffragettes wearing all white as a symbol of women's suffrage, as well as purple and yellow, which stood for loyalty, purity, and hope.
In the 1910s, a bunch of states, particularly all the Western states, strike the word male from their voter clauses in their constitutions so that women begin voting in massive numbers all across the American West. And that leads people to realize that voting is not going to be the huge cataclysmic disaster that a lot of people think.
One of the biggest turning points for the women's suffrage movement was World War I. An estimated 9 million American women joined the war effort, some on the front lines and others working as ambulance drivers, medical suppliers, and more.
Woodrow Wilson eventually comes around to supporting women's suffrage, partly because of the war service that women offered, the way that he got embarrassed constantly by Alice Paul and the militants.
Then all that was left was Congress's approval, which didn't come easily. The 19th Amendment passed in the House in 1918 and Senate in 1919. A year later, the necessary 36 states had ratified the amendment, and women were granted the right to vote by law. And so began politicians' attempts to appeal to women for their votes. In 1923, Alice Paul authored the Equal Rights Amendment, an amendment that's still awaiting ratification today.
We think of 1920 as the end of the suffrage movement, but that's because we let white women define our vision of activism. But a voting
Let me rewind that back a little bit. And it's not all white women, all right? But she's right, though. That's why, when Mouthpiece and Goddess Dia Love did that live, they asked a real good question. All right? That the Feminist Act, all right, which is a movement, right? Did it help the women? Or did it make it worse? And I feel as though it has its pros and its cons. A lot of people, a lot of women are using this, and they're weaponizing it, while others are really trying to help. So, listen, like the word says, right? There's a yin and yang to everything.
An amendment that's still awaiting ratification today.
We think of 1920 as the end of the suffrage movement, but that's because we let white women define our vision of activism. But a voting fight continues well after 1920 by women of color who will organize alongside black men.
And it would take until the 1960s, a full 45 years after the 19th Amendment, for many black women to be able to secure their real right to vote in this country.
Since then, the American public has elected a wave of women to public office, heard women boldly advocate for pay equity, and participate in a worldwide rebuke of sexual misconduct through the Me Too and Time's Up movements.
For too long, women have not been heard or believed if they dared to speak their truth to the power of those men. But their time is up.
Women want to be equal, and we want it in the Constitution.
We're underrepresented in everything from state legislatures to foreign governments to corporate boards. We can't just look back and say, we have the right to vote, we're good. No, there's so much work still to be done.
As we look back at women's suffrage, we remember it is a movement of diverse origins and many mothers. And voting isn't something we should take for granted.
And if we had a federal law that said that people had a right to vote, then the states wouldn't be able to interfere with that voting right as robustly as they are right now.
Stating the most obvious, vote. Vote, vote, vote. Vote like your life depends on it, because it probably does.
Commander says, right? Commander said, women going to work, I'm sure, has affected the home, the children, the husbands. I think to a certain extent. Y'all want me to be honest and tell y'all when it really got ruined? It really got ruined when welfare came into place. When they threw welfare, in our great-grandparents' face, grandmothers, mothers, all right? That right there, that's where, a lot of shit came. I'm not gonna say that. That's when everything got worse. For real, for real. I don't think it had nothing to do with the working part. And I feel as though it got deeper when women wanted to be more independent. I don't need a man. I don't need this, right? Because welfare came into play. I mean, we did the history of welfare. I mean, we can go down that rabbit hole. Just not today. We'll wait for part 5. All right. Part 5. All right. I know I dropped the link and it might, go a little longer if anybody gets the channel, right? But listen, let's talk about it. Because it's like, we can go about this in so many ways. But in my opinion, when welfare came into play, that's when a lot changed, right? The women wasn't allowed to have the men in the household and much more. Then, we hit the 2000s where, the women have, switched it up and turned it into something else. The men too, all right? I didn't even know men can get welfare until not so long ago, so chill. Chill. All right, it's been only a few years that I've known that a man can get welfare, right? He can have food stamps and cash and everything, all right? But I feel as though whether you're a man or a woman, if you can go to work, all right? Make that bread, all right? Work hand in hand. All right, the issue is when men and women stop, doing things hand in hand. You got too many women out here. I don't need this man for this, don't want this man for that, but still want to have a man right next to her. His money, my money, my money is my money. I get it, shorty, I get it. But this shit, listen, man, we both essential to this fucking world, both man and woman. We both got a part to play. So I don't think it had too much to do with the women go to work situation, because even back then, women was working. You had women doctors, all right, women nurses, everything. You had midwives, those women that would come and deliver babies in the houses and stuff like that. I mean, I can keep going and stuff, right? So I think it had more with the ego, the pride, how, like the lady just said a minute ago, how white women came and, started, weaponizing shit. For a minute, it wasn't even, it was supposed to, listen, the woman's right was supposed to be for every woman, right? But not until a lot of black women started standing up and speaking up that things didn't start, really turning around. You see, even today, a lot of women that, work harder than a man does, still does not get paid as much as a man should. And you know what's crazy? We live in an era where women have succeeded. Black women, brown women, all right? But they don't get talked about. Here in Pennsylvania alone, we have a lot of women, black and brown, that are successful. Believe it or not, there are a lot of black women that are successful, but they don't talk about it. Nobody wants to talk about the women that have made it, to become successful in life. And the reasons why, because they want to, focus on the poverty. Oh, this made you like this, and you're not going to be. Yes, we can. It's been proven. All right. So, listen, I was focused on the wrong shit for a good minute. I should not be where I'm at right now, but guess what? I'm not where I want to be. I'm where I have to be because of the decisions that I made in life, that I chose. I'm not gonna sit here and blame men. Oh, hey, Rachel got stuck for a good minute, but because of these men, nah. So, like I said, we can go about this in so many ways. All right, so many reasons why, a lot of women are saying, no good men exist, none of that shit. All right, why a lot of women are, in the situations that they are.
Okay, so let's go back to we the people.
Who were we the people qualified to vote? They were white, they were male, and they owned property.
The framers believed people would cast rational votes if they had something to lose. So, in order to vote, citizens had to own land.
And the rationale behind that was that individuals who owned property had a certain kind of stake and investment in the nation as a whole.
You have a vested interest in your community. You're not going to make rash and reckless decisions.
Just like today, voting was controlled by the states. And in a handful of states, some unmarried women who owned land could actually vote.
New Jersey, for example, women who were single but who owned property could occasionally vote.
But that didn't last very long.
It was the law in New Jersey up until 1807.
Women,
A lot of people
by
didn't know
and
that.
large, throughout the 19th century, are considered dependents upon their husbands, or
once they get married. They can't inherit property once they get married.
everything a woman owns actually belongs to her husband. If she owns property, that property is her husband's. If she earns a wage, that wage goes to the husband. So she has no legal standing on her own.
Marriage makes one person.
Damn, back then they were forcing women to do that? Shit. I get back then, women were being forced to do that. We're in 2026. Women. Y'all just giving it to the men like that? Like, fuck. Women fought not to do that, but y'all out here getting on welfare, SSI, giving y'all child's SSI to the man while he in this bitch playing Xbox. Ladies. That thing was forced. Can I get the excuse for today? I ain't gonna get that excuse. Ain't no, and if I do get one, they gonna fucking give me a fucked up excuse.
And then that one person is the husband.
Women couldn't vote and they had fewer and fewer rights. So when the abolitionist movement was created to abolish slavery,
The abolitionist movement begins around the early 1830s.
Primarily to abolish slavery in this country.
it didn't take long for the women fighting for equal rights alongside famous abolitionists like William Lloyd Garrison and Frederick Douglass to begin to fight for rights of their own.
It was a movement of men and women collaborating with each other, where women learned to speak in public and become accepted for speaking in public.
They had conventions and they had abolitionist newspapers.
The women's rights movement grows out largely of the anti-slavery movement because what's the topic? The topic is, are humans equal? Yes, we're equal.
But even in the abolitionist movement, not all the men treated women equally. When women went to London to attend the World Anti-Slavery Convention, the men there made the women sit in the back.
And they got a little bit upset. Their conscience had already been pricked by their involvement in the abolitionism. So they came back and they issued a call for a convention, a women's convention, which we call the Seneca Falls Convention.
The Seneca Falls Convention took place over 2 days in July of 1848. The convention adopted a set of resolutions written by Elizabeth Cady Stanton. Stanton was a writer and housewife who wrote the founding document of the suffragist movement in America, the Declaration of Sentiments.
It was patterned after the Declaration of Independence and suggested that women ought to have the full citizenship and political rights that were granted to men in this country.
Stanton, with support of men like Frederick Douglass, took the radical step of demanding that women across the country get the right to vote.
It's the first organized effort, collective effort, to say that women should go out and get the right to vote.
See, my whole point is that even for the women to get the right to vote, you have men working hand in hand with the women. All right, and as crazy as it sounds, I don't know what's going on today. You see, like it's like everywhere I turn, whether it's in my community out here within these streets, or here on social media, on YouTube streets, or any other platform. All right, men want to make it seem like they're above the women, right? Like shit, we already gotta fight certain women, certain men that want to be women. They want to be us. That's already bad enough, dudes. And y'all out here trying to like, oh man, I hear so many men talking about, well, man, y'all came from our rib. No, motherfucker, read that fucking Bible passage right. All right, I'm tired of y'all men talking about y'all. We came from the fucking rib. Read that shit right. All right, and learn about the 3 Adams and the 3 Eves. But anyways, back on topic. Back on topic. All right. Women fought, right? These women fought for a lot of the things that women are able to do today. All right. From Elizabeth Cady Stanton, all right, Alice Paul, Carrie Chapman, all right, Frederick Douglass, James Mott, and more. They did this hand in hand together. But today is like we're so fucking divided. So now here's the real question. After all these people fought, sacrificed, organized, wrote, marched, protested, and risked everything, has any of this truly helped us today? Or have some folks misunderstood the message? The mess. What the fuck? I'm over here discombobulated. The message and the mission. All right, because listen, somewhere along the line, the message got twisted. Some people turned empowerment into entitlement. All right, some turned equality into weaponry, and some forgot the root and only keep the hashtag. And that's why we're here today. So talk about, what was meant, what was law, and what needs to be reclaimed. In what ways has the woman, the feminist act actually, and I'm not talking about the woman's rights, I'm talking about the feminist act. In what ways has it helped any woman from back then to modern day women today? Does the feminist act still exist within us women today? Facts, Commander. There's a lot of things that women could do now that they couldn't do back then. So my whole thing is either we honor this or wait for, I guess history to repeat itself. Is there another way I could put this?
Native women have always had a sacred and powerful role in our communities, not only as aunties, mamas, and grandmas, although those are some very important jobs too, but also as holy women, healers, leaders. And across cultures and languages, Native oral traditions are brimming with some pretty divine female figures, protectors of land and sea, creation and destruction, life and death. Hi, I'm Lily Gladstone. And this is Crash Course, Native American History.
Shit, at least she knows how to speak her native tongue, Blackfoot. I'm Taino. I just know Balbacoa, Canvas, and a few other words, but I literally do not know how to go into my native tongue. Like, snap, man. Shout out to the ones that know how to speak their native tongue, yo.
History. Well, before Europeans arrived in what is now North America, Native beliefs around gender were, and honestly still are, pretty diverse. In fact, many Native American tribes are matriarchal, meaning women hold significant power in our communities, including as the primary decision makers. Matriarchal tribes then and now tend to value ideas such as equality, consensus finding.
Let me pause it right here for those of you that are confused, all right? That's the era we living in today, the society, all right? The matriarchal society.
Tribes then and now tend to value ideas such as equality, consensus finding, gift giving, and peace building. For example, with Navajo or Dene, mothers and grandmothers serve as the matriarchs or the heads of individual clans, while men usually are leading intertribal meetings and making decisions about war. Women have the final say when it comes to clan disputes. They control their own land, their own livestock, their own crafts, and any money that they earn, they keep. Dene are also matrilineal, meaning that family heritage is passed through the mother's line. This equality can be found in Dene spirituality too. Both men and women are allowed to become medicine people, traditional healers who perform ceremonies for the sick. It's said that Ashta Nadle, or changing woman, explained it to the sun, the father of her children, like this. You are of sky, I am of earth. Remember, as different as we are, you and I, we are of one spirit. We are of equal worth. And back in the
That ain't no lie, because there's something that I still pass on to my kids, right? And I know if you've been watching me, right, for a minute, you know you hear it through my poetry, you hear it through my lyrics, you hear it, through a lot of my conversations, right? When it comes to my kids, right, and their father, right? 'Cause listen, I have my first kids, right? Their father's just, is deceased, right? May he have peace in paradise. But whenever I speak to them or I speak about them to anybody, right, I always say, right, blood of my blood. No, what is? Yeah, blood of my blood, soul of his soul. And what I mean by that, right, it's kind of like what she's explaining right here, right now. And people be confused, like, why you always saying that? Because that's how it is. Blood of my blood, soul of his soul.
Hey, while Dene women didn't join raids or go to war, women in other tribes did, mine included. Her name was Running Eagle, Pita Makan. Among a lot of Native nations, women would often lead war parties and participate in battles. How about Buffalo Calf Road woman of the Northern Cheyenne in what is now Montana? In the late 1800s, she and her family were camping near a creek when a group of white soldiers attacked. When her brother fell in the fight, she rode into battle and rescued him. About a week later, with her Colt 45, Buffalo Calf Road woman would fight in the Battle of the Little Bighorn. And though we don't know for sure, there are plenty of stories from several tribal nations that claim it was a woman who dealt Custer the final blow. Other Native women took on the roles of leaders and diplomats in times of conflict. In fact, one of the strongest Native American confederacies, the Haudenosaunee, was co-founded by a Native woman named Chikonsensei. Let me tell you her story. Oh, way back before European arrival, there were 5 warring nations: the Cayuga, the Mohawk, Oneida, Onondaga, and Seneca. Chikonsensei didn't want any part of that war, but she lived along a war road, one that warriors from every nation traveled. So, instead of shutting the door and turning them away, she offered shelter and food to anyone who came through. She even helped resolve arguments between members of different nations. Meanwhile, a man named Peacemaker was looking to end the war and unify the 5 nations. Which makes sense. Name like that? After hearing about Chikonsensei, Peacemaker set out to see her kindness for himself. He told her about his vision for a unified nation, describing a longhouse with a representative from each nation in their own seat. Because she was neutral and well-liked, Peacemaker asked Chikonsensei to assist him in establishing a system of governance based on peace. He gave her the name Mother of Nations, and she would go on to be instrumental in the formation of the Haudenosaunee Confederacy. Thanks in part to Chikonsensei, Haudenosaunee law recognizes the equal responsibilities of women and men in all manners, which still guides their practices today. That's right, in that good way. And that's the story of Jacon Sensei.
I was on mute the whole damn time. Ain't that some shit, yo? That is crazy, yo. Wait a minute. Hold up. Listen, like I was saying, right? The whole point about the whole purpose of this is to bring awareness, right? Like shake our noggins a little bit, all right? Refresh our mind. Remember the whole real reason of why the feminist act even, the feminist act even, you know, was thought of back then. It has its pros, it has its cons, right? And even in today's era, we have women that try to, weaponize the feminist act, right? Men and women fought for women to have the rights they have today, for women to be able to do the things that they're able to do today, all right? And like Jenny Velez said at the time, am I still muted? Am I still muted? Hold up, wait a minute. I'm gonna have to go to my phone real quick and check. No? Alright. Yeah, I thought I had to go to my phone and check. So yeah, man, like people don't even realize that even before colonization, right? You had women doctors, you had women nurses, you had women scientists. You had a women did a lot of things, all right? And then the colonization happened, boom. Then here you go with how can I say, after the war happened, women were able to, do certain things, right? But a lot of women were weaponizing it, and so a lot of black and brown women were stood up. You got Frederick Douglass. Well, I mean, I named a few of them earlier, right? We ain't gonna go down that whole rabbit, right? But nobody came up, nobody hit the link to even speak on it. All right, so I'm gonna move on to the next topic. We're gonna move on right to the next topic because it's like there's not much really more I could really say about it. Maybe on the next one, all right, I might do the live a little earlier. I ain't gonna sit here and lie, but now that we shook our damn noggins, right, and dusted off the history books because some of y'all ain't cracked one open since high school. Let's talk about something everybody keeps crying, all right? I think that's a trail. I was gonna say, what the fuck is going on? Alright. So now that we shook our damn noggins and dusted off the history books, listen, man. A lot of you ain't opened up a history book or opened up any type of book in life. Let's talk about something that's got everybody crying on social media. All right. Do good men still exist? I hear women all the time. All right. Not all, but enough to make it, a trend saying, where are all the good men? Where the good men go? Like, like if they vanished or some shit, right? Like they got abducted by aliens. Like, like if they're hiding in Bermuda, like in the hold on, wait a minute. Yo, like this shit is wild. Like if they're hiding in the motherfucking Bermuda Triangle. Like, babe. good men didn't disappear. Some of y'all just, some of y'all just ain't looking in the right damn places. All right. If good men are gone, why do some people keep choosing, the same type of men who ain't good? Did I fuck it up? Is my mic? No, my mic is on. So let me tell y'all my opinion on this, right? After this video,
A lot of women think a good man is easy to replace.
Men get replaced every day.
But that's the problem, because a good man doesn't look valuable when you have him. The way he forgives mistakes gets overlooked.
Mhm.
The way he stays during hard times gets expected.
Mhm.
The way he makes your life easier goes unnoticed. The sacrifices he makes quietly stop looking like sacrifices at all.
Yeah.
And that's why so many women underestimate his value.
Mhm.
They only realize what they had after they start dating again. Women leave a good man thinking they'll find better, then spend years discovering he was harder to replace than they thought.
Mhm.
Ladies, I really need to start doing myself up for these videos, but the question we ask, where are the good men at? Where they at? How do I meet them? Where do I go? Why can't I find one? The question is, myself included, but it's the wrong question. We should be focusing on the right question, and the right that attracts the right man.
They leave me broken. Woman doesn't fall out of love because of another man. She falls out of love because she kept asking to be heard and kept being ignored. She falls out of love because she gave chances, explained her pain, and waited for change that never came. So by the time she leaves, she's already grieved the relationship while still in it. And when a woman finally walks away, it's not out of nowhere. It's the result of everything she tried to fix by herself.
what the hell did I just click on? No, whoa, what is going on?
Women don't leave good men.
I was trying to pause this, John, and I don't know what the hell happened. That's some real shit. There are good men out here. You see where I'm coming from? So let me tell y'all my opinion. And I'm saying this with love, but also with a little, a little bit of stop playing with me energy. Like, good men still exist. They out here working, building, healing, growing, all right, loving, protecting, providing, and minding their damn business. But here's the catch. Good men are not available for every woman. And that's not shade. That's reality. Some women, all right, some women want a good man, but don't want to be good to a man. Some want a leader, but don't want to follow. Some, want stability, but bring chaos. Make it make sense. How can you attract what you are not prepared to, maintain? Did I fuck up? Did I say something wrong? I don't think I did. Once again, it's just my opinion. All right. And let's talk about this. Let's talk about this I'm independent anthem. Listen, independence is beautiful. Independence is powerful. Independence is necessary, but some women weaponize it. They say, I'm independent like it's a personality trait. Men turn around and say, but I want to, how can I say? Then they turn around and, they turn around and say, but I want a man too. He just can't make more than me. He can't tell me nothing. He can't lead. He can't correct me. He can't challenge me. Like, girl, please. What do you actually want? A partner or a pet? Shit, my dog obeys everything I say. Because you can't scream independence and then demand control. Is independence being used as empowerment or as a shield? Then you got men and women that, how can I say, bring their past relationship into the current relationship. I can go about this in so many ways. See, this song that I made, it fits both topics, all right? Both of them. You got women out here that aren't satisfied. They have a good man, but they put they prefer to put a bum on a pedestal. They say he's everything she wanted, but is not satisfied. Somehow, some way, yet need to go, out there and get some more extra dick. I don't know if it's the man, not satisfying her in between the sheets to her, he's good there. So what's the issue? Why cheat? Why fuck his head? Why fuck up his head? Then here we got another one. You got a lot of men that get accused of so many things, which make it hard for the real victims to even get knowledge. How can I say acknowledged? What I mean by that is you got so many women falsely accusing men of either rape, all right, being a father to their kid, all right, abusing, to the point that, when there's real women out here being real, right, saying that this was done to me, they don't get believed. Because of the women out here overlooking the good men.
Do you know I really believed every promise you ever fed to me? First one I ever let behind the shield, and look at how you played me. Check the ink. Give you my heart for what? I told you it's not that easy to tame me. Give you my heart for what? I don't need no one to entertain me. Give you my heart for what? When all you do is shift the blame. You projecting your past and it's driving me insane. Demanding my energy while you keep your feelings guarded, leaving me to finish the war that your ex-lover started. Now you're checking my phone looking for a reason to fight, but I'm the only one who ever tried to treat you right. Sacrifice, 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 that is all I hear you tell me. You want me to surrender my peace just to make you feel secure, but I won't be the casualty for the hurt you refuse to cure. Paying the bills for a heartbreak I didn't even cause, suffering the damage from all of your emotional flaws. I gave you my soul and you just watched the courtroom bleed, punishing me for the love that you claim you don't need. Stepping out of your shadow under the rising sun, breaking out of the cycle because my life has just begun. Sometimes I feel like you don't even see me. Lord, please help me. This situation is starting to exhaust me. So what's the move now? Looking for something where there's nothing. I don't wanna argue anymore, living with the illusion that you'd eventually love me the way I do. But I'm just a game to you. You're hunting for vengeance in me while I'm dreaming of a future with you. I don't know what to do anymore. They see the damage, but they don't see the cause. They want the victory, but flew from what was lost. I never thought we make it this far down the line, but I'm drawing the boundary to protect what is mine. They tore you into pieces, but don't act like that was me. They hurt you and they messed you up. Why am I the one paying the consequences? Maybe you love someone you shouldn't have, a fatal decision you made. But tell me why I'm the one stuck standing in your shade. Maybe they played you, they didn't really love you. You were just a temporary thrilling adventure they ran through. They never gave you a chance, and I'm the one bleeding out the consequences. Go heal yourself before you try to come for me. Go fix the shattered pieces that I didn't break. Look at the mirror, look at the price of your mistake. I am no longer carrying the weight of what they took from you. Tired of bleeding for wounds that were never made by my hand, taking a stand against the traps that you masterfully planned. No more accepting the guilt that you're trying to pass. I'm shattering the illusions and breaking the looking glass, moving with momentum under the rising sun, leaving the baggage behind, and now the damage is undone. Sitting here dissecting everything you tell me. You claim that you love me. I wanted to believe you, it felt real until the truth got ugly. Even though in our hearts we both knew we didn't mean it. I don't even want to see you anymore. You put me in a cage built from your own relationship scars, trying to block me from reaching my own destination and stars. But the contract is canceled and the lease has expired. I'm walking away from the game because my spirit is tired. I stood out on the corner when the block was freezing cold, carrying a narrative that never could be sold. You thought you had me cornered in a setup in Hunting Park, but I'm too sharp to get trapped by the shadows in the dark. No handouts on the pavement, had to earn my own respect. Cutting off the static and the fake love you projected. Concrete was the teacher and the hustle was the guide. Now I'm collecting on my value while you're swallowed by your pride. I'm in the shield and I'm walking right out of the door. I refuse to be the scapegoat for your internal war. You can keep the suspicion and keep the bitterness inside. I am taking back the dignity that you tried to divide. Reigning supreme under the rising sun. Walking into my power, and the heavy crown is won. Go pay your own penalties. I'm officially off the clock. Still standing tall, still shining through the night. Riders for life. And that's on everything North Philly, baby.
Women don't leave good men. They leave poor communication, disrespect, inconsistency, broken promises, and emotional neglect. Men don't realize that a woman doesn't fall out of love because of another man. She falls out of love because she kept asking to be heard and kept being ignored. She falls out of love because she gave chances, explained her pain, and waited for change that never came. So by the time she leaves, she's already grieved the relationship while still in it. And when a woman finally walks away, it's not out of nowhere. It's the result of everything she tried to fix by herself.
Where are all the good men? This is the question I feel like a lot of ladies are asking, a lot of my female clients that are single are asking. Maybe the more specific question are, where are all the men that want to partner up, commit, and have children? I have a lot of clients that are out in the book from Marsha Inhorn's study in her book, Motherhood on Ice. The numbers are not in the favor of our ladies. John Berger's research found that for every 4 college-educated women, there are only 3 educated men. And he described dating with these statistics as like playing musical chairs. So if you can envision that, someone doesn't get a seat, somebody is left out.
It's a good men epidemic.
Listen. I'm gonna say. All right, we gotta be real. Some women don't want a good man. All right, they want a man they can dominate. They want a man who's easy to manipulate. They want a man who won't check them. All right, they want a man who won't require growth. They want a man who's comfortable being beneath them. But then they turn around and say, men ain't shit. No, sis. The men you pick ain't shit. You skipping the good ones because they require accountability, maturity, and emotional intelligence. That's the problem. Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. I know I'm not saying nothing wrong. I'm just saying what a lot of women, how can I say, won't say online, but they'll say it out here. Let's be real. Those women you hear say that shit is because they picked the wrong man. And they know that shit. But for that 1 second, that one moment, the attention was good. The pleasure was good. They didn't give a fuck about the consequences. Hey, but I could be wrong. Let's talk about where some women are looking for men. Because, baby, you can't find a good man, in the same places you found the last 5 wrong ones at. You can't find a good man in the club every weekend. You can't find a good man in the DMs, all right, of dudes who sent you. All right? What you doing at 3:45 a.m., 3 a.m.? You can't find a good man in the, comments of your, thirst traps. You can't find a good man in the same, in the same toxic circles you refuse to leave. Good men exist, but they're not hanging out where the chaos lives. if you want a different, how can I say, outcome, why keep fishing in the same pond? Let's make it make sense. Real shit. Did I press the play?
There's a good men epidemic right now, and we need to talk about it. Me, along with all of my friends, are all single. We have so many hobbies. We go to run clubs, the gym, social events. Like, we're out there. We're working, right? But every single time I meet a man who has anything interesting to say, he's always in a freaking relationship. So it's true. Where are the good men at? Where are y'all finding them? Because I can't find any.
Those good men she claims to want, they're probably in her DMs already. She just doesn't see them unless they hit her fantasy checklist.
Right?
There is a bigger shortage of good women than good men. They're in your DM folder. You don't care about them, aren't attracted to them, or desire them. There's a good man right here. However, I gave up on women about 10 years ago.
Damn. I can't. What the fuck? 10 years ago? Shit.
And women falsely accuse men of sexual assault.
Oh. We ain't hit that topic yet. Pause. We ain't hit that topic. All right. We did not hit that topic yet. All right. So, let's flip this real quick. Let's flip it. Some women say they want a good man, but when they finally meet one, right, they don't know what to do with him. He communicates too well. He's too honest. He's too stable. He's too emotionally mature. He's too consistent. He's too respectful. And instead of appreciating it, they get bored. They say he's too nice. No, he's too healthy for your trauma. All right, he's too peaceful for your chaos. He's too grown for your games. Mama did a good job on that upraising, all right? And that's the crazy part. Are some people addicted to dysfunction more than they're really, than they're ready for love? Ain't nobody gonna answer that. So listen. Good men still exist, but they're selective now. All right, they're cautious. They're protective of their peace. They're not giving their time, their energy, their heart, none of that to just anybody. All right, they've seen too much. All right, been lied to too much, been used too much. All right, been blamed on too much. They're tired of being, the emotional punching bag for women who haven't, healed. So yes, good men exist, but they're not signing up for the situations that drain them. If good men are protecting their peace, are some women mistaking boundaries for absence? It's just a thought I had to throw out there. I'm just saying all this now. So let me say it. All right, let me say it again for the folks in the back. Good men exist. They never left. They never, disappeared. They never stopped being good. Some of y'all just, how can I say, been looking in the wrong places, choosing the wrong people, ignoring the right ones, or misunderstanding what a good man actually looks like. And that's why we're having this conversation. All right, to bring awareness, to challenge people's perspectives, and to remind folks that good men ain't extinct. They're just, they're just not entertaining the nonsense. So the question is, are good men hard to find, or are they just hard to appreciate? So listen, before we get into this last topic, I'm gonna play some music. Ain't nobody touched that link yet, so listen. I know I'll be touching on some subjects, right? But hey, they need it. Shout out to Mouthpiece. Gotta feel love for having that live. Let's together today, right? But I know ain't nobody gonna hit this live because people are too scared to hit the top. So before we get into the next topic, I ain't no man, But I gotta go drink my little litty lizard.
Its voice, and I finally found mine. I survived the darkness. Now watch me shine. Check the ink. He didn't just scar me once, no. Was every single day a cycle of abuse that never seemed to fade away. His fist and his words, a force so unremitting, leaving me shaking, confused and barely living. Every time he'd come home, there was a storm in his eyes, a storm in his tone, covered up by the lies. His rage was a hurricane, tearing us apart, leaving me cold and alone in the dark of my heart. I tried to break free, I tried to run, but he had a grip like a vice had done. No matter where I go, he'd find me there. That twisted love was a nightmare to share. But now I'm free, yeah, now I'm safe. No more fear, I found my place. We rise above the pain we used to bear, walking out the storm into the open air. The scars are still there, a reminder of the fight. I reclaim my soul, oh, taking back my life. Taking back my life. The silence was heavy like a weight on my chest, praying for a moment just to find a little rest. But the shadows would follow, the memory would haunt. Everything I feared was everything he'd flaunt. I lived in that terror, I lived in that cell, until I found the strength to walk out of that hell. The scars tell a story, they aren't just a mark. They're the evidence of how I survived the dark. I am not the victim, I am not the shame. I'm the one who stood up and survived the flame. Now look at the stature, look at the way that I stand. Took my life back with a steady hand. No longer a prisoner to the ghost of the past. Found a peace, a mind that's built to last. We testify to the truth of what we've been through, from the depth of the struggle to the spirit made new. The hurricane's gone, the sky is finally clear. We conquered the storm and we conquered the fear. No more pain, no more fear. Everything is different. I am still right here, walking out the fire, breaking off the chain, stronger than the versions that were bound in pain. Wiped away the tear tracks, standing on my feet, turning off the terror, stepping to the street. No more ducking shadows, no more staying small. I'm taking back my peace and I am standing tall. Left the damage behind me, stepping through the sun, breathing in my freedom. The new day's begun. I locked the heavy door and I threw away the key, reclaiming every part of the soul inside of me. He thought he had control, thought he had the final word, but now my voice is loud and it's finally being heard. No looking back in terror at the shadows on the wall. I'm standing in my power and I'm never gonna fall. The healing has begun and the spirit standing tall. I broke through the cage and I stepped right through it all. Standing in the morning, taking back the power, lifting up my voice in this triumphant hour. Every chain is broken, laying on the floor. I am never going back to who I was before. Walking into freedom, under the rising sun, reclaiming my life, yeah. The battle is won. The scars are still there, but I'm still here. Writers for life, and that's on everything. North Philly, baby. The illusions are fading. No more playing along. No more shame. It's time to show them who I am. Check the ink. They played with your heart like it was just a game. Toxic words dripping with all that heavy shame. Manipulated ways that never could be tamed. Hurting you was the target, yeah, that's where they aimed. Disrespect oozed from every single pore. Their intentions were rotten straight to the core. They knew the pain they had in store, yet they still left you wanting for more. Their actions were calculated and cold, leaving scars that never grow old. In their web of lies you were sold, but you broke the script and took back control. Ripping up the blueprint of the trap they tried to make, exposing every promise that was calculated fake. No more playing victim to the setups in the dark. I'm walking out the prison and I'm leaving quite a mark. Shattering the mirrors under the rising sun. Stepping into freedom, yeah, the battle is won. They saw your vulnerability, they saw it so clear. Exploiting every moment without a single tear. Knowing the end result was gonna be fear. Wait until you're broken, then they disappear. Deception was the weapon they used to break your soul. Trying to take the pieces and maintain the control. But they didn't know the fire that was deep inside the hole. Now you're taking back the power and you're taking back the whole. I was caught in the web, I was lost in the lie. Waiting for a reason just to say goodbye. The illusion is shattered, the strings have been cut, slapping down the entrance and the doorway shut. Woke up to the pattern and I scrambled up the grid. No longer staying hidden like a broken little kid. They tried to double down on the psychological play, but I saw right through the setup and I walked the other way. The baseline is steady and the vision is aligned, leaving all the toxic interference far behind. The cycle is broken, the static is cleared, standing as the power that they always really feared. Can you see the truth? No more lies. Everything is different, we aren't the same. Winning the game, stronger than the versions that we were before. I cut the tangle wires and I flipped the master switch. Climbing out the valley and escaping from the ditch. No more mind games, no more staying blind. I am leaving every single heavy doubt behind. Moving with momentum under the rising sun. Unstoppable energy, yeah, the battle is won. They thought they left me stranded in a maze with no escape, replaying all the errors on a heavy looping tape. But I rearranged the structure and I masterminded through, proving there is nothing that my spirit cannot do. The architect of lies has lost the power and the lease. I walked out of the wreckage with my sanity in peace. The game is completely over, the table has been turned. Standing in the wisdom of the lessons that I learned. Walking out the prison with my head held high. Nothing left to hide and no more tears left to cry. Standing as a force that you can never quite contain. Rooted in a power that survived through all the pain. Claiming my position under the rising sun. Triumphant in the spirit, yeah, the battle is won. The web of lies has unraveled. The game is completely over. Still standing tall, still shining through the night. Writers for life, and that's on everything North Philly, baby.
All right, y'all. I'm trying to make sure that my mic is working. Am I sounding like low, staticky? Like, I need to know so I can fix it real quick before we even continue. I'm not sure. Is Commander still in the chat? What the fuck? Come on. Okay, I got it. Get the fuck over. No, no. Mom. All right, I'm trying to see because they say my mic sounds staticky. So is the mic still sounding staticky? All right, I'm trying to see. They say my mic sounds staticky. I feel like I'm hearing myself twice on the phone. I don't know. I swear I just heard myself like 3 times on the damn mic, and I'm in the studio. I'm trying to be as close as I can to the goddamn studio. So I'm not sure what's going on with the mic. Oh, this shit is loud. All right. Dude, my videos, like, I feel as though like this shit is possessed. I'm about to call an exorcist. Like, shit. I ain't tell you to do what the fuck you want to do. Do what the fuck I tell you to do. I control you. All right? What in the world is going on? Yo, wait a minute. Let me open up the studio. Maybe the studio is a little too closed. Let me go like that real quick. All right. Let's bring the mic this way, just in case. So let me bring you a little more forward, because it could be that you're a little too far from me. Let's bring you closer, but I don't want you on the camera. So, hold on. There we go. All right, y'all. Now that, we touched on those first 2 topics and, shook our damn noggins, right? To make sure we remember history, right? All right. And to remind people that there's still good men out there. All right, ladies, let's slide into this, sensitive one. Like, should women go to jail for falsely accusing men? All right. And before some females get their panties all in a bunch and start typing paragraphs in the comments like, they're fighting for their life, how can I say, let me say this loud and clear. I'm a mother first. I gave birth to both genders, not just one. So when I speak for both, all right, when I fight for both. When I bring awareness, it's for both. Like, why do some people think that advocating for men means betraying women? That's the insecurity in certain people. They immature. Because just because I'm a woman, right? And I have a daughter does not mean I'm going to bash men. Just because, all right, I was abused by one man does not mean I'm going to pin it all on all men. I had to learn that. I had to grow through that. I had to heal through that. And I'm not going backwards to please women, all right, who won't heal. Don't want accountability, don't want growth, and, don't want truth. They just want comfort in their pain. I'm not doing it. Why do some people cling to pain like it's a part of their personality? I'm gonna have to get a new mic, right? Because this one, I'm gonna have to get one where I could just bring close to my face. Because this one is just like I have to scream and shout, and it's a mic. Like, you should already be catching my voice. Like, what's up? I gotta be over here, kind of like practically kissing the bitch. Shit, it be wild. It be so wild. Listen, I'm a mother first. And in a lot of situations, they say I'm a woman first. I'm a mother first. Then I'm a woman. All right? Mother first, then woman. I bring awareness to these topics because, it starts at home. It starts with what we teach our daughters and our sons. It starts with, it starts with how we raise them to treat each other. It starts with how we teach accountability, honesty, respect, and emotional intelligence. And if we don't teach it at home, society will teach them something worse. Society will teach them manipulation, blame shifting, entitlement, all right, and weaponizing emotions. I know I look kind of funny trying to look at my camera and then try to like talk into the mic, but I want y'all to hear me right, all right? Let me ask y'all this one question. Are we raising emotionally healthy adults or emotionally dangerous ones? And I feel as though that we are the reason that there are a lot of bad apples and a lot of, a lot of these little crowds out here, kids. All right? Mothers, fathers, all right? Parents are the reason, listen, some parents, some, not all, some parents are the reason why, some of these kids turn into real life monsters when they grow up. But a lot of people don't want to hear that because, I'm talking about accountability there. OG, I got my OG in the building. Shout out to Flying Galantino. Shout out to 22 Ronin. Make sure y'all go check out my old head. Great conversations, great topics. But let's get, okay, that was Commander talking to Ronin. Let's get back on topic, right? So many women say good men don't exist, but look how some of them, all right, look how some of them treat the men. Look how quick some are to lie. Look how quick some are to manipulate. Look how quick some are to use the system as a weapon. Look how quick some are to play victim. All right, when they were the villain. Look how some are, quick to destroy a man's life because they're mad, embarrassed, jealous, or hurt. And then they turn around and say, men ain't shit. It's kind of like, when I was watching Mouthpiece, right, and God is D do that live, all right, of cheaters, right? And one of the clips, one of the last clips that Mouthpiece was showing, right, he showed a video of a guy that, recorded, that turned his phone on to record how, damn, like, and it's kind of fucked up. I know that was a hurt piece right there, right? The bull recorded how his girlfriend was in the bar or the restaurant that he worked in with his best friend. And it's like, damn, man. I know, like, your normal reaction would be like, fuck, man, I'm gonna fuck him up and I'm gonna embarrass the shit out of her. But Bull stood humble. I give it to him because a lot of people go to jail behind that dumb shit. How can good men thrive when they're treated like they're disposable objects? And I could be, saying the wrong shit. I don't know, the right shit. I mean, I don't know. It depends on y'all. To me, this is just my opinion. How I perceive things, what I'm seeing, what I'm hearing. So I'm just gonna pour the truth out to y'all. It's up to y'all. Some of y'all might have seen what I've seen. Some of y'all might not have seen what I've seen. But when a woman falsely accuses a man of something, it ruins his life. What should happen to a woman if she, tells a man and makes him believe that the child is his? Then it turns out that it was never his, and this man spent a lifetime paying child support. Now he loves this child is his, but it's like, and you just fucked this person's head up. Not just his, but the child's too. Well, we can go deep into this, but I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say in this live. So, I mean, listen, I've been how long? An hour 49 minutes. Ain't nobody touched the link. All right, to come and chop it up with me about none of the topics. All right. So I'm going to show y'all these videos. I'm going to tell y'all what a little bit, of what's in my mind. There's nothing more I can do. We're in part 4 of this, all right? It's only but a few people that have hit these links to really, spark this conversation up. And I ain't forcing nobody to do shit. All right, we gonna have this conversation. I'm gonna end this live. It's already 2:26 in the morning. It is what it is. We bringing awareness. That's what I like doing. I'm good at that. I'm good at bringing the awareness. All right, giving my commentary.
When women falsely accuse men of sexual assault or sexual misbehavior, and that has to stop. There needs to be some type of repercussions for the women. If a woman steps up, comes out and wants to accuse someone, and it finds out that the story has been fabricated, and I'm talking about real proof that the story has been fabricated, she lied, she was trying to get a check, she needs to be charged and go to jail. I'm serious.
Legit question. Should women...
So, I know the John jumped up. So, like, should
sexual assault or sexual misbehavior, and that has to stop. There needs
should women go to jail? And if so, how much time should a woman go to jail behind those accusations?
A legit question. Should women who lie about being sexually abused, should they go to jail?
Yeah.
Okay. For how long?
I don't know. I can say yes without a shadow of a doubt. And I wouldn't even say women. I would say anybody. Anybody, I mean, it's perjury. You're lying in court.
Actually believe that.
That was so fast. Like, damn, let me get my commentary. Shit.
A legit
All right.
question.
He did say a good thing. We always say that here. Anybody that, sexually assaults anybody, should go to jail. For me, I feel as though, listen, man, we build caskets up in this John. All right? That ain't no lie. We build caskets. But we always talk about the men, putting them away, how much time, they should get, right? But it's crazy as hell that we live in a society, and I've seen it time after time through social media, right? Even out here, a woman gets a pass. A woman that's in her 20s, mid-20s, 30s could sleep with a 15-year-old, a 10-year-old, get pregnant by a 13-year-old, all right? And she gets a real pass. They're just starting to get, hard and strict, when it comes to this in these courts. But it's because men are starting to stand up. Women are starting to speak up, all right? But it's crazy as hell that when a woman sexually assaults a man, all right, she, how can I say it? She gets believed until, it's proven that she's guilty. But let a woman scream, sexual assault on a man. The man has no say so. He's put behind bars, no questions asked, no ifs, no buts, no ands. All right? It's way different for a man. All right? A man really goes through it when he's falsely accused. And not just that, the women that do these false accusations, right, make it hard for the women that actually do go through these actual crimes. They make it hard for real victims to get believed. So, me personally, I've been saying this for a while. There are women that do things that a man would do. And they're capable of doing it way worse than how a man would do it when it comes to sexual assault, molestation, and much more. But because she's a woman, it's okay.
Actually believe that any woman who falsely accuses a man should be given the same amount of jail time as the man would be given for that exact.
Wow. I mean, that would certainly cut down on perjury in the courtroom. I would just be happy if the courts enforced the laws of perjury. If we had maybe fines for false allegations. I'm not even looking for anybody to be in jail. I just want the false allegations to stop. And for the false allegations to stop, there's got to be some teeth to our laws. There has to be the actual enforcement of perjury laws.
Oh,
Jonathan Majors was arrested for assaulting his girlfriend. Now, he was the one that called 911. His girlfriend recanted her statement. Today, he got charged with assault. If women lie about being abused and it's like proven that they lied, should that woman have to suffer consequences? Absolutely. Should she have to face jail?
I had to pause that. I'm a little confused on the comment. I need a little more context on that comment. All right, let me see. Where's the comment at? The comment says parents aren't taking responsibility to train their children. They said bye, but I guess they meant but expect the child to defend themselves. I think I need a little more context on that comment because I'm a little confused on what you mean by that. I'm not sure who. Truck lover wrote that. Yeah, we need a little more context on the comment. Let me grab my mic real quick in my hand. Yeah, because I gotta turn my face to read this comments real quick. Hold on. Commander says it would probably increase the men in jail because the woman would probably then not retract her what? Her lie. Women won't recant because they'll face time to, so it might be worse before it gets better. I mean, that's true. That's true. But either way, women that lie on men that falsely accuse them for sexual assault and much more, they need to do time. As much time as a man would do, or probably more. All right, like I don't think they should get a slap in the wrist for doing the same thing that a man does. And what's crazy is that some of these women, all right, that commit sexual assault, molestation, and much more, all right, do it 10 times worse than the man. And it doesn't get talked about because it's a woman. They get a pat on the shoulder, for real, for real. And that's why I was like, I'm not sure what True Trucker was trying to say. Truck lover, my bad, was trying to say because there's some parents out here that do train their kids. They educate their kids. They're there for their kids, right? And sometimes, listen, an adult, a grown ass man or woman, all right, has a lot of power over a child. Believe it or not. There are kids here that listen, women are getting in listen, women are doing things to little kids, boys and girls. Men are doing the same thing. And what's crazy is hell, like I hear people say, right? Well, a parent should do this for their, child to defend themselves. It's hard for a child to defend themselves, when somebody's not there to defend them, fighting off a perpetrator off their body that's, 100 times bigger, weighs a lot more than them. All right, so I wouldn't blame all parents in all situations like this. There are parents that are really active in their kids' lives. It's just, out their hands when their child is somewhere else in a school, in a friend's house, a family's house, and they get sexually assaulted. So we can't say that's to every situation. And you got parents out here that are neglectful, all right, that don't give a fuck about their kids, and their kids go through the worst of things out here. Like, see, I gotta be neutral about this. I'm not gonna sit here and just pinpoint the finger when we know that when it comes to sexual assault, all right, it happens in so many ways and for so many reasons. There's a lot of people out here that have, how can I say, untreated trauma, and they pass that shit down. There are survivors that turn into the perpetrators. All right, as crazy as it sounds, and I'm saying that I'm a survivor. See, a lot of people don't know that, especially if they're new to this channel. But those that have been following me for a while, those that know me, know that. All right. And just because I'm a survivor, just because I got abused by a man in the past doesn't mean that I'm going to bash all men. Doesn't mean that I'm going to sit here and say all men are like this because one did something to me in the past. That's not how it works. I think a lot of people, that's why I said a lot of people need to start opening up some books, start reading, start learning some, some of the stories out there, start understanding. But people are not going to do that. They won't. A lot of people is going to refuse to do that. They don't care. Facts, OG. That's some real shit right there. And you know what's crazy? It shocks a lot of people when they be like, "Damn, you a survivor for real, and you're defending men." But then a man do this to you. Yes, a man did something to me, but that don't mean that all men did it to me. I have two sons. I have had two men walk into my life and shown me that not all men are like that. I have a grandfather that was a part of my life. So I know that not all men are like that. But for women to sit here, you could tell when a woman is still, is scorned or when a woman hasn't healed. You could tell because everybody in her path pays for it. I fought my demons. All right. I fought each and every one of them. And I'm here today. I'm able to talk on these topics. All right. And not let my past, all right, fuck up my judgment. See, as a survivor, right, it shocks so many people how neutral I am, right, when it comes on these topics, men and women. That's because I have to. Because if I let my past, all right, cloud my judgment when I'm talking on these topics, then I should not be speaking on these topics at all. That means that I have not battled the demons within me yet. But that's not the case here. And this is why I say I'm not the only one saying this, though. All right? I want y'all to understand that. I'm not the only one saying this. So many women say good men don't exist. I had 3 great men in my life show me that great men out here exist. And because of these 3 great men, I was able to raise 2 great young men. All right? From little boys to young men. Because they're not grown yet. So many women say good men don't exist, but look at how we treat them. Look, not we. All right, let me put it like this. Look at how some of them treat them. Look how some are, some of them lie about them. They're so quick to lie. Look at how some of them, manipulate. Look how quick some are, are fast to use the system as a weapon. Look how quick some are, ready to play victim when they're really the villains. All right? Too much of that shit happening. False accusations don't just hurt feelings, they ruin lives. All right? They ruin reputations, they ruin families, they ruin mental health, they ruin futures. And the worst part is when the truth comes out, when the women who lied, gets nothing, no consequences, no accountability, no jail time, no fines, no charge, nothing. She gets to walk away while the man has to, rebuild his life from scratch. That's not justice. That's destruction. Should a lie that can imprison someone be treated as a crime itself? And I think it should. I have 2 sons. And I swear to God, all right, that I will fucking tear down heaven and earth, which don't exist in this dimension. But y'all get my whole point, what I mean by that. All right? I will fucking tear down heaven and earth just to get justice for my son. Just to seek that justice for any one of my sons. I tell that to my kids. We talk about everything. And I let them know. All right? I let them know that if they ever committed that shit, I'll be the first one to walk away and tell the judge to throw away the fucking. I'm not with that shit. I will not defend any of my sons if they ever commit a crime like that. I'm dead on fucking serious. People think I'm playing, and I'm not. My boys know that shit. They know how serious I am about that shit. They know my story. I don't lie to my kids. So like I tell people, I speak on these stories. I speak on these topics, and I'm neutral on it because, all right, I have 2 sons. Just because I'm a woman, just because I have a daughter, don't mean fuck the men, bashing because one hurt me in my life. No. No. If anything, I raise these men, these boys, these young men to become real men. Teach them how to read, how to treat the ladies out there, the women, not bitches. You want to be a bitch and get treated like a bitch, then hey, go ahead and be a bitch. But y'all get my whole point by that.
So Jonathan Majors was arrested for assaulting his girlfriend. Now, he was the one that called 911. His girlfriend recanted her statement. Today, he got charged with assault. If women lie about being abused and it's like proven that they lied, should that woman have to suffer consequences? Absolutely. Should she have to face jail time or do community service or something?
I feel like she should. If a lie on my son, yes, you need to take your ass to jail. So once they know for sure that she's lying, yes, you need to have some type of consequence.
I just believe it depends on the extent of the lie. If it's a little fib, then it's all right.
Nah.
A little fib.
Nah, fuck that. What you mean a little fib? Nah. Because it's hard on these men when y'all lie like that, even the smallest fib. Oh, he scratched me. He behind bars. Come on, man. You don't even take this as a... See what I'm saying? Come on.
What if I start a rumor that you're a pedo?
You're literally going to stoop that low to start a rumor that I'm a pedo? That's not even something you joke about.
Yeah. Well, you broke my heart, so now I'm going to ruin your
Okay,
career.
Nah, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Are you really going to do this to this man right now? Are you seriously going to do this to... Yo, nah. Everything... I hope everything and bad happens to you and you alone. Only because everything should be taken from you. You're playing victim and out here ruining men's lives. I'm so sick of this. This needs to stop. The rape allegations, the false allegations. What is this? What is this?
No. My thing is, why the dude laughing like if, dude, she defending you. See, this is, listen, I don't give a fuck who gets mad, all right? I'm going to say this shit. Shout out to Yaya for having the live that she had earlier, man. See, y'all, some of y'all men be playing around with this shit until it comes knocking at y'all door, laughing. See, she was real serious about it. But he listen, when it gets done, then you wouldn't be sitting here playing around next to the woman and sitting here defending the men. Because that's some fucked up shit when a woman sits here and accuses a man of being a pedophile. There's a man, and I've been talking about this for the longest since I started my channel. I've been talking about this. I know a guy right now personally that is behind bars for false accusations. He's been in there 15 years and hasn't been able to prove his innocence. Even though in the beginning, he was able to. But what happened was them second charges. When them second charges came, the first charges came about. See, women keep playing around with this shit, not realizing that a man's life can get ruined forever. That's someone's son. Someone that someone's father, someone's brother. But hey, laugh all y'all fucking want, but that shit is something serious.
The false allegation. What is this? What is this?
There goes that invisible wall again.
That Amber Heard. No one's gonna believe you.
Yeah.
No one's gonna believe you. You know why? Because I'm a girl.
I'm a woman. Because I'm a woman and you're a man, I'm gonna say this, and no one's gonna believe you even when you come out with evidence showing that I'm lying.
This is the sad reality of false
accusations. This subject is near and dear to my heart because when I first started with the Office of Conflict Counsel, I did most, if not all, of the sex assault cases. Typically, in all these cases, or some of the cases, they were dating for a while. One person broke up with the other person. The person who got broken up with, they were upset. They vowed to get this person back. So what did they do? They called the police and said, you know what? This person sexually assaulted me. When did it happen? I don't remember. Where did it happen? I don't remember. Is there any evidence in Pennsylvania? There's a jury believed the testimony of the victim. That testimony standing alone without any other evidence, if you believe that, that can be proof beyond a reasonable doubt for you to find this person guilty. If you are the victim of a false accusation and you are found not guilty of a trial, in my opinion, I believe that a person should go after that person who accused them of that false accusation. They should seek damages in civil court.
That ain't. And let me say this, you know, I'm gonna put it like this. Before I say what I gotta say, let me ask you a question. Should a lie that can imprison someone be treated like a crime itself? And let me say this real, let me say this real loud and clearly, right? I'm not against women, all right? I'm against liars. I'm against manipulation. I'm against weaponizing serious accusations. I'm against people who use the system to hurt others. Because when a woman lies, she doesn't just hurt the man. She hurts real victims. She makes people doubt the real survivors. She makes people question real stories. She makes healing harder for those who actually live through that fucking hell. How do we protect real victims if we keep protecting the false accusers? Let's make that fucking make sense. And, excuse my French. I'm just a little passionate when it comes to this topic. All right. So, yes, I believe, women who falsely accuse men should face consequences because equality means accountability on both sides. You scream protect women while destroying men. You can't scream believe all women when some women are lying. You can't scream men don't protect us when some women are out here destroying men. Accountability is not gendered. Truth is not, how can I say, gendered. Justice is not gendered. Is it really equality if only men face consequences when it comes to this topic?
What it do is Big O. Here to keep it a buck, because I don't get no fuck. You already know the business. I seen this post right here, right, on social media. And I cut out the caption, but the caption did read, should females go to jail for falsely accusing dudes of SA? And my answer to that, hell yeah. I think women need to go to jail for lying, period. Any bogus chick that lie on the dude because she mad at him for whatever the case may be, deserve to be locked up. If you're trying to get him locked up, it should backfire on you. Because I know quite a few females that lied on dudes and called the police on dudes for all type of unnecessary reasons. They know that he on parole. He probably smoking, smoking weed and stuff like that. Or, he was caught with another chick. So she'd rather see him locked up than to be around this chick or whatever the case may be. But I don't wish bad on nobody. But like I said before, right is right and wrong is wrong.
Facts. I agree.
Don't try to throw me in a cell just because you feeling some type of way, just because you all in your emotions. If I did something to you or if he did something to you, that's understandable. But just because you angry, you want to lie, make false police reports, yeah, you deserve to go to jail for that. Whole facts. And getting into the SA thing, you most definitely need to be put up under the jail for falsely accusing any dude of SA. Period. Point blank. There's nothing else to be said about that. A lying bitch that's trying to get you locked up because she mad deserves to be put up under the motherfucking jail cell. That's real motherfucking facts.
Lock that bitch up.
Ain't nobody.
Lock that bitch up and throw away the fucking key, yo. Listen. Let's go real quick. All right, we're gonna go to La La Land real quick with Peter Pan. All right, y'all know what that means. All right, we're going to La La Land with Peter Pan. Let a bitch let a bitch put paws on my son, yo. People don't understand. I will rock that motherfucking orange suit for real. I'm not the only mother that says this, because it's like, yo, you lay paws on my son and he has to walk away, but you scream and he's locked up. Let's make it make sense. Yo, I'm dragging this bitch throughout the whole motherfucking block. Yo, I swear to God, I'm sweeping all of HP. Listen, I'm cleaning all of HP's streets with her. Her head is the motherfucking mop. All right, her head is the motherfucking sweeper. All right, she gonna look worse than the motherfucker that got dragged. All right, tied up behind a truck. All right, getting driven through the street. Nah, man, listen. I'm gonna be the motherfucking car dragging this bitch. I ain't gonna need no rope, no none of that shit. All right, there's gonna be a force that's gonna come out of me that's gonna make me think I'm fucking Goliath for a second. It's gonna make me think I'm fucking Hulk. It's gonna make me think I'm fucking Shaquille O'Neal. Shit, even Andre the motherfucking Giant. Shit, you got me fucked up.
Nobody gonna tell her like I'm gonna tell it, because it ain't nobody will her. Like I said before, I'ma always keep it a buck, so I don't give a fuck. I see y'all in traffic. 1.
A terrifying call comes into 911.
So how are we gonna react to? So listen. Yes, I believe women who falsely accuse men should face consequences. All right, I've always felt like that. My mind, my thoughts change. And let me say this one more time. All right, let me say this for the people, in the back. I speak for both genders. All right, because both of them deserve protection. Both of them deserve fairness. Both of them deserve truth. All right, I'm here to pick truth. And the truth is, false accusations are dangerous, destructive, and unacceptable. And if we, how can I say, don't talk about it, if we don't address it, if we don't demand accountability, then we're failing our sons and we're failing our daughters. Believe it or not. But see, a lot of us going to hate the topic up. It's happened, all right? DMs blowing the fuck up. Oh, you're against women. Why? It should be all believe all women. You know how many men do women dirty? Okay, then do them dirty. All right? Lock them the fuck up. Don't wait until you got somebody good and have this motherfucker pay for the fucking consequences. Make that one fucking make sense. Listen, this right here is why I bring awareness. This is why I talk loud. This is, why I talk raw, uncut, talk uncomfortable, because women who make false accusations, all right, make it 10 times harder for the real victims, all right, to come forward. They make it harder for survivors to speak. They make it harder for people who actually lived through the hell to be believed in. That's heartbreaking. That's dangerous. That's cruel. When some lies, when someone's lies, they don't just hurt the man. They just they hurt every survivor who's trying to, every survivor who's trying to find courage to tell their truth. How many real victims stay silent because someone else lied loud? All right. False accusers create a world, all right, a world where, people second guess real trauma. They create doubt. They create hesitation. They create skepticism. All right. Like, and imagine being a survivor of, as a sexual assault. Imagine finally building the courage to speak up. And the first thing, people think is she lying? Is he lying? Not because of you, but because of what other women did. That's sick. That's unfair. Right? And that's re-traumatizing. That's traumatizing the person over and over again. Why should real victims pay the price for someone else's lies? But I could be tripping. All right? I could be tripping. Let's check this case out real quick, all right? This video was sent to me. It says Florida woman busted, right, in TikTok fake great claim. I can't say the word.
Then in a twist no one was expecting, the caller is the one thrown in jail.
So you just took it off of Google? Did you use any like AI or anything for it? Yeah. What AI did you use? You used ChatGPT?
This is Inside the Crime, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Elizabeth Milner. Now, a lot of us might be guilty of using ChatGPT or AI every now and again, and that's totally fine, as long as you're not using the platform to fake a serious crime. It's October 7th, 2025. We're in St.
Yeah, it is a shame we have a lot of people out here using AI to commit, crimes like this. And it's, I mean, we got men and women, but I'm seeing a lot of crimes, of false accusations being done more and more by women than by the men.
Petersburg, Florida. Police officers with the St. Petersburg Police Department are dispatched to a local apartment complex after a woman reported she had been raped. They responded to the home of Brooke Scheinold. She told officers she was home alone caring for her baby when she got a knock on the front door. She said a strange man forced his way inside her home, even pushing her to the ground. According to the police report, Brooke reported that this man's name was Jake or James and that he knew her boyfriend. She initially reported that while still on the ground, she was able to take a photo on her phone of the suspect. Then he stood up, pulled her pants down to her ankles, and raped her. Brooke reported that the man raped her for about 10 minutes. She claimed she didn't scream because she didn't want to wake up her baby. She said after he was finished, he used her electric toothbrush and then left the apartment. Brooke reportedly told officers that she was experiencing vaginal pain. However, she refused to go to the hospital. Officers also noted that they didn't see any physical injuries on her. Her clothes weren't torn, nor were there any signs of struggle inside the apartment.
That right there is a real red flag. See, even though a lot of victims, right, I know it, right, they hesitate, they don't want someone down there after they've been through, or, some of them feel embarrassed or they don't want to talk about the trauma. A lot of them want to see that perpetrator put behind bars. And the majority of them do not refuse the DNA test. Why should refuse it straight off the gate?
Her baby. She said after he was finished, he used her electric toothbrush and then left the apartment. Brooke reportedly told officers that she was experiencing vaginal pain. However, she refused to go to the hospital. Officers also noted that they didn't see any physical injuries on her. Her clothes weren't torn, nor were there any signs of struggle inside the apartment. But Brooke showed officers the photo of her alleged rapist. It was this man who appears in a dark-colored hoodie and pants, a long beard with a backpack next to him. But for those who are avid TikTok watchers, like myself, this guy seems very familiar because he was part of a viral trend on the app. Now, users would generate AI images of people who appear homeless inside their house to scare.
That's who I thought it was, a homeless person? Like, hold on, wait a minute, like, that is wild. What did this person do to her? He really did look like a homeless person, but let's see. I mean, I don't know why he went viral, but they're about to explain it. Like, wait a minute, that shit just threw me the fuck off. And yes, I'm reacting. It's my raw reaction with y'all. All right, I ain't watched this video yet. We watching it together. Now that I research on the video, yes, I have done my little research. But let's continue, and let's listen.
Would generate AI images of people who appear homeless inside their house to scare their friends or family. When officers learned of this viral trend, they noticed the same guy on TikTok was the supposed suspect. But again, he's not a real person. October 9, 2025, 2 days after Brooke made the rape allegations. It's about 9:40 at night, and officers are back at her home.
would you mind coming outside and taking a minute? Thank you. Do you have like slides or something? Just so you don't stand out your bare foot. Great. Could you do me a favor and put your hands on your back?
Yeah.
Just
hold on.
We're gonna tell you
We'll
everything
explain.
to
We'll
do.
explain it all.
Okay?
We'll explain it all.
And I'll explain
We'll explain it
everything to
all.
you in a second.
If you could just go back for a second.
I'm just trying to figure out what's going on.
We'll explain everything all. It's okay.
All right, I'm not gonna put them on tight.
Yeah, make sure you just keep them straight.
Thank you. I appreciate you being
We'll be okay.
cooperative with me. Okay?
We'll be able to
I'm gonna
explain
put a one
everything.
finger length here. We'll be good to go. Okay.
You're not playing no games, I see.
Did you? Here, hold on. I'm gonna double lock them.
Okay. I'm gonna explain everything to you. Nine to each other. We're gonna be 15 over here.
All right. You head down.
Let's go downstairs. I'll come back up in a second and explain everything to you. Okay?
I don't know.
They told me.
We will.
It's all right. You're doing great. All right.
Well,
Don't trip. Okay.
Oh, here, I got a light for you. There you go.
Oh, I'm just dizzy. It's all right. I got you. You're not gonna fall.
Well,
Once
we
you
will
get down the
explain
stairs,
everything.
so you're not in like a little trip.
Do y'all believe it's a performance? Or do y'all think she's really, I don't know. Some people, it's my first time seeing it. Let's see what happens. Because it's like, I don't know. She could be putting on a performance for them. Because she knew that, she's getting caught. I don't know. But she could probably be going through some mental health issues.
Situation, I'll explain it to you. Help you.
Facts, Commander. At least it was a fake bad, but even though, what if it was a real bad? What if she took a real picture from somebody, online and used it as that fake? You see where I'm coming from? And then they locked up somebody. Because I don't know if y'all remember, we did a video like that a few months ago where, a chick accused a man of doing something with this AI shit, right? It was a real person that she did, she chose from the fucking internet. She Googled it. So, she didn't accuse him of sexual assault, but either way, like, these women are getting out of pocket. At least on this one, it was a fake man. You ain't wrong, but what if it was a real one?
All right. We'll take a step.
Just 1 second, all right?
Okay. I'll be back up and talk to you in a second, all right?
Just this way. Over there.
Do you have anything on you?
No,
Just a shirt?
I was going bed.
Okay.
Is there sand on the dirt or something? Like, damn, what kind of flip flops she got on?
Okay. Just go ahead and slide in there. Just watch your head, all right?
I think she dragging her feet. Jesus.
Yep. And then if you can roll down the window.
Yeah.
All right, Brooke. So the reason that you're in handcuffs is going to be, let me read this to you first, and then we'll discuss, okay? This is not an admission of guilt, okay? This is just your rights that I'll be advising you of, okay? Okay.
Now, Brooke might be confused on why officers were there, but making a false report is a crime. Not only did police respond to her home over allegations of sexual battery, they used resources to investigate. According to the police report, officers gathered touch DNA from her door handles, toothbrush in the bathroom, buckle swabs from Brooke and her boyfriend were taken, crime scene photos were taken, and they were even packaged to submit as evidence. All for it to be a hoax. When officers responded on October 7th, Brooke was reportedly adamant she had been sexually assaulted. But when she was in the back of the police car, the truth came out.
Yo, that is wild. Like, I don't know why some women do this, right? Like, I don't know if it's an addiction, a pleasure, a thrill, what it is. I don't know where her child is at, Commander, for real. Like, this is wild. Like, listen, at least there was, a fake picture of a fake dude that, somebody created on TikTok. But here's my thing. There are people out there using real pictures of people, going into people's Facebooks, Instagram, stealing pictures, from people's accounts and stuff like that on TikTok, YouTube, videos. Like, people have used videos and turned them into this AI shit and made certain things. Man, we've done lives about this. We've talked about this, right? It ain't our first time. But my thing is with this, right? Like, the only way that a lot of women that do false accusations get caught, right, is when they get caught get put away in jail, is when they get caught in the lie and an officer could prove it. Or, a lawyer could prove it that, the person that's being accused of, whatever crime could prove that this person is lying, right, through a lie. And it's crazy that that's the only way, because some women are real good with their stories, right? Some have never been touched. DNA proves it and all. But their story sounds so real, and then the other person doesn't even have an alibi. I've seen men go to jail just because of that. So for her doing this right here, right, she's not, listen, I'm going to put it like this. It's fortunate, not unfortunate, fortunate, right, that it was a fake picture. It would have been unfortunate if it wasn't. I'm trying to find the proper words to say this shit, man. Because this right here, Lord have mercy. I don't know what's going through the head of certain women, right? Why they have so much anger towards men. But one thing I could tell you, that I could sit here and tell you, is that a lot of women, right? Like, we have to tell a lot of men, oh, this woman is toxic, but it's the woman you're picking. We got to tell women, too, that, the toxic men that is around them is because they choose them. And they constantly keep choosing the same toxicity over and over again.
This is not an admission of guilt, okay? This is just your rights that I'll be advising you of, okay? Okay. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer and have him or her present with you while you are being questioned. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent you. You can decide at any time to exercise these rights and not answer any questions or make any statements. Do you understand each of these rights I've explained to you? Having these rights in mind, do you wish to talk to us now? Sorry, what?
I can't hear what she said.
To that question, no, I'm sorry, what'd you say? Yes. Okay. You gonna throw up? Oh, no.
Take some deep breaths. All right. You'll be good. I'll get the AC going back here. If you need to throw up, actually, I'll open the door so you can throw up on the ground. Please do not throw up on the backseat of my cruiser, okay? Huh? You're gonna throw up? Okay, don't throw up on the floor, okay? Just throw up on the outside. All right, you good? All right.
So, Brooke, the reason you're out here tonight is because you called the police the other day, right? Alleging that someone had broken into your apartment and everything, right? Would you like to be forthcoming with us about that? Okay. That means, would you like to tell us the truth? What's that? Well, I need to hear your side of the story, okay? So, what happened with all that? Because you alleged a sexual battery happened and that someone broke in and burglarized your apartment. You want to turn your out?
Yes, I lied about it.
Why? You don't know? You were dealing with depression and what? And you haven't been sleeping?
So her excuse of saying that a man sexually assaulted her was because she was depressed and she was deprived of sleep. What the fuck? Seek some counseling. Seek some counseling.
So when they talk to you, why didn't you tell them the truth then? You were scared? What were you scared of? Right, because you said that a man came and raped you. That's a very serious crime you're alleging, right?
Facts.
Okay. So what the person that you
Facts, Commander. She wanted attention. That's all she wanted, some attention. But that's a fucked up way of trying to get attention.
said did it, how did you make that? You got a picture off Google?
Get the hair out of my. Sorry.
There's that better. So you just took it off of Google? Did you use any like AI or anything for it? Yeah. What AI did you use? You used ChatGPT? What'd you type in to make it? You just put homeless man? Did you see, like, where did you come up with that? Was it a trend or something?
No, I don't even follow. I don't know. I just want.
You just what? You just wanted attention? Okay.
Oh, you got the.
So after, why did you do it?
You got the attention now because what if that was a real picture of a real person and they would have locked up a real person until they try to figure out if she was sexually assaulted or not? Come on, let's make it make sense. This is why we need some real life Olivia.
The second time though. No, like the originally reported the burglary, right? But then later on alleging the rape.
Officer, all I know is that man up there needs me to help with those two kids. If he can't financially do it, I cannot go to jail.
Okay.
I admit that I have problems, but I'm gonna get there.
Well, I just want you to understand.
What's crazy is that she's saying she has problems. She's going to get therapy to help her, but why now? Now that you're going to jail? You wanted attention because the support that you're getting from your man is not enough? Are you serious? What if that was the picture of a real life person and not a fucking image that somebody created off of TikTok? And it'll be crazy if that was a real life homeless person that somebody did take a picture of on TikTok to make as an avatar. Like, never mind. Nobody's even thinking to where I'm taking a little step further. Because as crazy as it sounds, like some people have done that. You're not ever going to fuck the person that's really homeless.
And how serious those things are. Right? We had canine officers out. What if we found someone that looked like that and now we're getting out with them?
I just said that.
Because you created an AI photo and now we're out with them and you know, now we're interviewing someone from someone that's made up, right?
Imagine if somebody got bit by the dog because they matched that description, right? Totally innocent person.
She don't care.
Okay.
She wanted attention.
Well, I appreciate you being honest now. Okay? You know, at least we took that, but unfortunately you are going to be taking the trip tonight, okay?
Yeah.
You can't file false police reports. Okay? I don't have an answer for you with that right now. We'll go talk to him and let him know what's going on, and then we'll get right back with you, okay?
All right, I'm gonna.
Yo, this is wild. And this is why I say false accusers deserve long sentences, all right? Not a slap on the wrist, not community service, not probation, long sentences, because their lies don't just ruin a man's life, all right? They ruin the credibility of every woman who's come after them. Right? They poison the system. They poison trust. They poison justice. They poison healing. And if you can destroy someone's life with your mouth, you should face consequences with your freedom. In my opinion, if a lie can take a man's freedom, why shouldn't it cost the liar theirs? Imagine being a survivor of sexual assault. Imagine shaking, crying, reliving trauma, trying to speak your truth, and people look at you, side eyes. They already do. Sideways. Because of, women who lied before. Imagine being told we need more proof. How much more proof when we got all the proof? Women with actual proof not being believed because of the women with no proof. People telling them we need more proof. We're not sure. Your story sounds like, that other case that, turned out fake. Imagine being dismissed because someone else wanted attention, revenge, or sympathy. That's horrible, yo. That's cruel. That's injustice. How many survivors give up? Like, do y'all know how many survivors give up because they're tired of proving their pain? On this one, I'm not even going to say it. See, I'm going to leave this one for the ones that catch the replay. And then I'm going to leave y'all the statistics in the comments down below. Because this is really, really crazy. How many survivors give up because they're tired of proving their pain?
So I'm just gonna pull this and then pardon my reach. All right. Okay, just give us 1 second.
Brooke was charged with 2 misdemeanors of making a false report of a crime. One pertained to the fake burglary she reported, the other for the rape hoax. Online records show on October 23rd, Brooke pleaded not guilty to her misdemeanor charges. However, she changed her tune on December 4th when she pleaded no contest. Trial attorney and federal litigator Alexis Rosenberg joins us now. And Alexis, this is an interesting case. I mean, we've seen pranks, we've seen hoaxes, but to call 911, I mean, what's your reaction to this case?
Well, she called 911 twice. They went out, they investigated, and decided there wasn't a crime. And then she called back again and stated that there was, I believe, a sexual assault or battery that was made on her. And they went back out to reinvestigate. But this is really taking I believe it was a TikTok or Instagram, trend that's going on a little too far.
Yes, absolutely. And it was a part of a TikTok trend. But talk to me a little bit about this case. It would be different if she would have sent this so-called prank photo to maybe some friends, some family, but there were 911 calls made. Police resources were used. Talk to me a little bit about the consequences to that.
So you bring up a very good point. I mean, there are trends that we have heard about that actually people have died from doing those TikTok trends. So, and then, just because you're doing a trend, it does not exempt you from the law. You are still required to follow the law. And she definitely took this too far. She is wasting very valuable resources. They could have been at her house, especially with her complaining about being sexually assaulted, instead of helping someone else and thereby endangering other people in the public.
And do you think in a situation like this, say because she was facing misdemeanor charges and because we do know that she had pleaded guilty, do you think a situation like restitution is in order because she did waste those police resources?
So the prosecutor could have asked for restitution. The problem with restitution in this particular case is how do you put a dollar amount on it? Now, they could have, of course, came up with some sort of formula and come up with an amount. I don't believe the prosecution did ask for restitution. And I think just simply letting her plead to a simple misdemeanor, but that's all she was charged with. I don't know if that's necessarily going to stop somebody. I think hitting her with some sort of restitution and making her pay back for some of that waste of resources probably would have been very good to teach her a lesson. Because
no, lock this bitch up and throw away the key. Use her to teach the other bitches the lesson. I'm sorry I'm saying it like this, but she don't deserve to be called a woman. I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks or says, all right? Listen, false accusers don't just hurt men. They hurt women. They hurt daughters. They hurt sisters. They hurt mothers. They hurt future victims who will now be, doubted. They hurt the entire movement. They make people question, the legitimacy, all right, of real stories. They make people numb to real suffering. They make people, how can I say, hesitant to help. They make people skeptical, all right, of women's voice. And that's why I speak on both sides, because both sides deserve protection. Why do some people ignore the damage false accusations do to real women? Let's be real. Some women don't want to hear this. Some women get mad when you talk about false accusations because they think you're taking a man's side. No, I'm not taking, the side of, anybody. I'm taking the side of truth. I'm taking the side of justice. Right? Like, I'm taking the side of real victims. I'm taking the side of accountability. I'm taking the side of fairness. Being a woman doesn't mean I blindly defend women. Being a mother doesn't mean I ignore the harm done to men. When did speaking truth become betrayal? Like, this shit is like crazy. Yo, listen, I bring awareness because I have a daughter and a son. All right? I bring awareness because I know what trauma feels like. I bring awareness because I know what healing requires. I bring awareness because I refuse to let the lies overshadow the real pain. I bring awareness because I want the world, all right? I want a world where survivors are believed, not doubted. I want a world where justice is balanced, not biased. I want a world where accountability is equal, not selective. But you have to fight for that. And it's been proven time after time. You've seen how I spoke. I named, some of the greatest that helped, when it comes to the feminist movement and shit like that. And I explained why I feel as though that some women used it to weaponize, and how long it took for women, black women, to stand up side by side with the black men, all right, to even get the rights that a lot of the women, I'm gonna say it right, the rights to vote, all right, to work equally side by side, all right, next to the men, and much more. Or I can go deep into this, but I've already done that. When did speaking truth become betrayal?
It just seems so obvious that you don't, fake a photo and then call the police twice and have them come out.
Right. And these were really serious accusations that were being reported. And I'm sure officers likely thought initially it was a credible accusation. But in your opinion, how can officers navigate a situation where they're dealing with a really sensitive topic, but then they don't see the person who's making that report as being credible, like in this case, because that person didn't even exist, that she was alleging sexually battered her?
You bring up a very good point, because let's just say that she had put somebody that was in there and that person ended up getting arrested. Now, in this particular case, apparently the picture that she had, it was pretty obvious that it was AI generated. Thankfully, she was not extra talented at using AI. And right away, I believe one of the sergeants or somebody at the police department realized that it was AI generated. They ultimately did get her computer and see that she had downloaded and done.
The dummy used a viral picture. Obviously, they was gonna fucking catch on. The dummy used a viral picture. It's not like she, you know what? I'm gonna shut the fuck up. It's just, it's really fortunate right now that it was a fake picture and not a real one.
This, I believe, about a week before. So we do have, that premeditation. This seems to be planned, but it is a very dangerous thing that you could have somebody that is using a picture and blaming someone else for something, something similar.
And AI and things of that sort. What challenges do courts really have to face when viral social media trends kind of intersect with real criminal investigations?
So the police did a really good job in this instance because they confiscated her computer, and that way they were able to actually see that data in those files. So I think that it's going to get much more technical if it went as far as you're suggesting that we maybe this slippery slope of sorts of people blaming people and creating false evidence, that we'll have to bring in those forensic experts to be able to look at what's on their computers, what they have downloaded, but also to be able to track that this was something that was created opposed to an original photo.
And it's interesting too that Brooke Chenault's excuse for allegedly creating this image was at first, obviously, she didn't want to admit that it was AI generated, but she also said that she was really attacked, then admitted that she lied and she just was going through depression. She wanted attention. I mean, what's your reaction to a defendant just kind of spilling the beans right then and there?
Yo, I don't get tired of saying this. Like, wait a minute, how many ways are we gonna say this, man? False accusers should face long sentences. I'm not sure if this lady gonna say that, but I've been saying it since we started watching this. Right? Their lies echo. All right, their lies ripple. Their lies destroy, other lives. Their lies silence real victims. Their lies make killing harder. Their lies make, justice slower. Their lies make truth complicated. And if we don't, hold them accountable, we're failing every survivor who ever needed courage to speak. This isn't about gender. This is about humanity. This is about fairness. This is about protecting real victims. Like, are we ready to punish lies the same way we punish, the crimes they, imitate? Did I say that right? Hopefully I said that right. All right, because it sounded one way, and then another way in my head. I hope I said that right. I hope y'all understand what I'm trying to, say.
So it's not an excuse or a defense to a crime. The judge may look at that at sentencing, and that may be one of the reasons that they agreed to accept the plea that was offered to her in this case, that they were taking that into consideration. But that's not a defense. The fact that you're depressed or having a hard time, like you had said, she could have accidentally or intentionally implicated somebody, and she was saying that she was sexually assaulted. So this is very serious. This could create a lot of issues and problems, even if the person was ultimately not found to have done that. Publicly, once that's out there, Pandora's box is open. That could seriously damage somebody's reputation, even if they are found to be innocent of those accusations.
Now we're learning that she did end up pleading guilty to those misdemeanors. Does that come as a surprise to you?
No, this is a pretty clear cut case. With this type of situation, it's really whether you intended to do it or whether it was a mistake, because you could have a situation where somebody may identify someone as committing a crime, and they may seriously believe that that person did that crime, and they're not trying to intentionally mislead. But here it was pretty clear with the evidence that the police obtained that this was intentional.
Yeah, absolutely. And in terms of lessons that need to be learned for situations like this, what type of lessons do you think people should be wary of when they want to participate in a TikTok trend or do something like this, especially as AI software really is so easy to use?
Well, one, don't put yourself in harm's way, and two, don't commit crimes in order to follow that trend.
Yeah. That very wise words. I mean, it's simple, but still, it feels like it has to be reiterated sometimes, especially in cases like this. Alexis Rosenberg, I want to thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you so much for having me, as always.
Again, I do want to clarify that Brooke Chenault pleaded no contest to her charges. She was sentenced to probation, and part of her conditions was not to be on TikTok. Thanks for tuning into this episode of Inside the Crime. I'm Elizabeth Milner.
This should be wild, don't it? Right? It'd be real wild. Listen, as we wrap this up tonight, I want everybody listening to understand something real simple. Right? Awareness is not just talking. Awareness is remembering, reflecting, and recognizing the patterns, that shape our lives. We didn't just talk about history, for fun. We talked about it because, the roots matter. The feminist movement wasn't built for chaos, confusion, or weaponizing pain. It was built, for equality, justice, and protection. But somewhere along the line, some people twisted the message, and now we're here trying to untangle the knots, that they left behind. How can we move forward if we don't understand where the message got lost? Like, I don't know if anybody has. I don't know who you asking the question to, who's an original owner. But anyways, go to what I was saying. Listen, we talked about good men, not the imaginary ones, not the TikTok, fantasies, not the ones women swear don't exist, but the real ones, all right? The ones, who work, love, protect, and show up. And we talked about how some women overlook them, mistreat them, or blame them for the choices that they made. Awareness means acknowledging that good men, exist and deserve respect. It means admitting, that some of us were taught wrong, raised wrong, or influenced wrong. And if we don't fix that, we keep repeating the same cycle. Like, are we ready to admit that sometimes, the problem isn't men? It's the choices that we make. That's some real shit, OG. So, I might have like a good another 30 minutes, right? So, if any of my people that, normally come up, or somebody that, has been topic up with, that come up, if their input real quick for a quick minute, yeah, I'm more than welcome. But I'm about to end this song. I ain't gonna sit here and lie. I'm really about to end this song. There's not much that I can say. It's already 4 in the morning. Trolls are, starting to pop up, show up everywhere. All right, we talked about a good, a good what, 3 hours, 2 minutes on this John. All right, we brought up a good, few topics. All right, the Feminist Act. Are there still good men out there? And should women go to jail for, false accusations? Like, we dove into a lot of stuff. Right, like we dove into the heavy part, like the false accusations. And let me tell you something. This topic is not for the weak. It is not for the ones who get offended, by the truth. It's not for the ones who think accountability is betrayal. False accusations destroy lives. They silence real victims. They create doubt, you know, where there should be support. They make healing harder for people who already survived hell. And if we don't talk about it, we're a part of the problem too. Like, how many lives have been ruined because someone chose revenge over truth? Awareness means protecting both genders. Awareness means saying, I'm a mother and I care about my son and my daughter. Awareness means understanding that justice isn't, a one-sided thing. Awareness means acknowledging that men can be victims too. Awareness means refusing to let lies overshadow real pain. Awareness means standing up even when, other women say, why are you defending men? Because defending truth is not, gender. Defending justice is not gender. When did we start confusing accountability with betrayal? And that's the issue, right? And let's be real. Some women don't want to heal. Some women don't want accountability. All right. Some don't want growth. They want comfort in their pain, validation in their anger, and protection in their lives. But awareness means saying, I'm not going backwards to, please anybody. Awareness means breaking generational cycles. It means teaching our kids better awareness. All right. It means raising daughters who don't weaponize their emotions and sons who don't fear being falsely accused. Are we raising our children to be healed adults, or, repeating the, the same broken patterns? And I feel as though that some are raising, young, how can I say, young boys and girls to become women and men, right? and some are just repeating the same broken pattern. That's my opinion. All right, listen. False accusations should face consequences, real consequences, because their lies echo, through the lives of real victims. Their lies, make people question survivors. Their lies make people hesitant to believe women. Their lies make justice harder to reach. All right. The lies, their lies create a world where victims suffer twice. Once from the trauma and again from disbelief. And if we don't demand accountability, we're failing every survivor who ever needed courage to speak. How can we protect real victims if we refuse to punish the ones who lie? Awareness is not about choosing sides. It's about choosing truth. It's about choosing fairness. All right? Choosing justice, healing. It's about choosing growth. All right? Choosing to break cycles instead of repeating them. It's about saying, I'm not here to bash men, you know, or uplift women blindly. I'm here to uplift truth. I'm here, and what's crazy is, the truth is the only thing that can save, our sons and our daughters, our families and our future. Are we ready to choose truth even when, it's uncomfortable? And I feel as though that some people aren't. Some people aren't. So as we close this out, I want y'all to sit with this. Awareness is the first step to change. Awareness is the first step to healing. The first step to accountability. The first step to breaking generational curses. The first step to protecting real victims. Awareness is the first step to raising better kids. The first step to building a better world. And if we don't start now, then when the fuck are we starting? Like, let me ask y'all a question. Which part of this conversation are you willing to carry on tomorrow? I'm dead. I appreciate that, Commander. Yeah, I mean, listen, I did the book like that because I was thinking about the same thing. Because I was gonna do the giveaways, so I'm doing the giveaway on my birthday. So some of the books I might sign them if I have them here if they get here to me on time, and some of them, I might just send them straight from Amazon to the people. You know what? I'm gonna shut up. Shut up. I'm the author, so I get a couple perks. So on the giveaway, I'm gonna give out some of the books. So I really appreciate y'all. To, for the support, showing me, love and appreciation for real, for real. That's why I always gotta say, man, shout out to the real ones. And I'm also working. I'm trying to finish. I got like 5 poems halfway done. Commanders being one of them. All right, so I gotta finish Commander's poem. I do definitely got a poem for Commander. Like if y'all know me, I definitely got, a poem for, all my subscribers that have been watching me for a minute. All right, they have been supporting me. I mean, I'm still writing some for it's a lot of y'all while I'm still writing poetry for the real world and I'm still writing, I'm still writing the lyrics to a lot of the poems. I'm still trying to I still got 2 more books I want to publish. But I'm not gonna do that probably until the probably I'm not gonna start these books until like probably December, January, transferring them into the computer and publishing them. So I'm also going to take my little breaks in between because I don't want to get, how can I say, writer's block. For real, for real. But I really appreciate all y'all that support on and off these platforms. For real, for real. Y'all know, what it is that I actually want to do. I'm trying to get there. Hopefully, I can get this house fixed up. All right. Listen, it's taking me a lot. My fiance's right here working hand in hand with me. Like y'all seen him, pop up on a lot of lives. But a lot of these houses here in HB got to get a lot of work done to them from the roof on down. So, and I'm not asking for no handouts or no nothing, man. We putting in this fucking work, right? So I appreciate the real support from the people out here, right? And which is helping the shorty take the next step. And a lot of people don't understand it. If it wasn't for the real supporters, man, shorty, my channel wouldn't made it. I wouldn't have made it this far with the channel. So I really appreciate the real love, right? We got girls up in the zone. Hold on, baby. I gotta block. Shit. First time I've ever been called white. God damn. I'm dead. Hold on one second. All right, and thank y'all for the subscriptions, man. Do me a favor, guys, man. If y'all enjoyed this stream so far, smash that like button for a shorty, share the video. All right, listen, the dislike right there too. If y'all didn't enjoy it, hit that dislike button. Listen, you know what I care more about when y'all share that video for a shorty. I really appreciate those that share the video, leave their comments, all right, their perspectives down below. If it's disrespectful, trust and believe you're gonna get blocked. All right, but those that really want to make change, those that want to move forward, all right, those are the comments that we need down below so the kids can actually see. All right, if you're not ready for this, listen, there's nothing more that I can say. All right, the message is out there. A lot of people just not gonna be ready for it. Those that want to push forward, want to go forward with it, man, let's do this. All right, those that catch the replay, leave your comments down below. Let's get the discussion started. I don't mind chopping up with y'all in the comments. Like I told y'all, man, after my birthday, we're about to be doing a lot of uploads. We're going to take it old school. So some of y'all going to have to get used to, commenting down below, all right? Leaving y'all comments on my uploads. That's where we're going to be chopping it up when I don't go live. Y'all going to be not seeing me go live for a good minute. I might start that 30, that not the 30-day challenge, the 90-day challenge. No social media. I might do that on some real shit. But no, because then that means I can't get on YouTube. See, I'm not a hypocrite. I ain't shy no more, OG. In the beginning, I used to be, man. I used to come on this John, man, sounding like I was a mouse, man. Everybody used to say, speak up. And now, listen, you ain't got to tell me to speak up. I'll be like, yo, we building caskets up in this bitch, yo. But let me get off this, John. It's already 4 in the morning, man. I hope y'all enjoy the stream. I hope y'all gain something out of it, man. Let's listen, man. Let's try to make a difference if we can, all right? One step at a time. Until next time, this y'all Shorty Rachel. I hope all of y'all have a blessed and humble morning. Continue to have a blessed and humble day. And I'm going to leave y'all with the new song.
Do you know I really believed every promise you ever fed to me? First one I ever let behind the shield, and look at how you played me. Check the ink. Give you my heart for what? I told you it's not that easy to tame me. Give you my heart for what? I don't need no one to entertain me. Give you my heart for what? When all you do is shift the blame. You projecting your past and it's driving me insane. Demanding my energy while you keep your feelings guarded. Leaving me to finish the war that your ex-lover started. Now you're checking my phone looking for a reason to fight. But I'm the only one who ever tried to treat you right. Sacrifice, sacrifice, sacrifice. That is all I hear you tell me. You want me to surrender my peace just to make you feel secure. But I won't be the casualty for the hurt you refuse to cure. Paying the bills for a heartbreak I didn't even cause. Suffering the damage from all of your emotional flaws. I gave you my soul and you just watched the courtroom bleed. Punishing me for the love that you claim you don't need. Stepping out of your shadow under the rising sun. Breaking out of the cycle because my life has just begun. Sometimes I feel like you don't even see me. Lord, please help me. This situation is starting to exhaust me. So what's the move now? Looking for something where there's nothing. I don't want to argue anymore. Living with the illusion that you'd eventually love me the way I do. But I'm just a game to you. You're hunting for vengeance in me while I'm dreaming of a future with you. I don't know what to do anymore. Lazy. the damage, but they don't see the cause. They want the victory, but flew from what was lost. I never thought we make it this far down the line, but I'm drawing the boundary to protect what is mine. They tore you into pieces, but don't act like that was me. They hurt you and they messed you up. Why am I the one paying the consequences? Maybe you love someone you shouldn't have, a fatal decision you made. But tell me why I'm the one stuck standing in your shade. Maybe they played you, they didn't really love you. You were just a temporary thrilling adventure they ran through. They never gave you a chance, and I'm the one bleeding out the consequences. Go heal yourself before you try to come for me. Go fix the shattered pieces that I didn't break. Look at the mirror, look at the price of your mistake. I am no longer carrying the weight of what they took from you. Tired of bleeding for wounds that were never made by my hand. Taking a stand against the traps that you masterfully planned. No more accepting the guilt that you're trying to pass. I'm shattering the illusions and breaking the looking glass. Moving with momentum under the rising sun. Leaving the baggage behind, and now the damage is undone. Sitting here dissecting everything you told me. You claim that you love me. I wanted to believe you, it felt real until the truth got ugly. Even though in our hearts we both knew we didn't mean it. I don't even wanna see you anymore. You put me in a cage built from your old relationship scars, trying to block me from reaching my own destination and stars. But the contract is canceled and the lease has expired. I'm walking away from the game because my spirit is tired. I stood out on the corner when the block was freezing cold, carrying a narrative that never could be sold. You thought you had me cornered in a setup in Hunting Park, but I'm too sharp to get trapped by the shadows in the dark. No handouts on the pavement, had to earn my own respect. Cutting off the static and the fake love you projected. Concrete was the teacher and the hustle was the guide. Now I'm collecting on my value while you're swallowed by your pride. Robbing the shield and I'm walking right out of the door. I refuse to be the scapegoat for your eternal war. You can keep the suspicion and keep the bitterness inside. I am taking back the dignity that you tried to divide. Reigning supreme under the rising sun. Walking into my power, and the heavy crown is worn. Go pay your own penalties. I'm officially off the clock. Still standing tall, still shining through the night. Riders for life, and that's on everything North Philly, baby.